What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of 30 NSG. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Helldivers, we're going to be talking about Exoprimal, and we're going to be talking about Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. We got two articles. We got one article from Game Radar. We have another one from PC Games, PC Gamer. And then we also have one from Video Gamer. So that's what we're going to talk about on today's show. If you like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern, well, roundabout. We just talk about the gaming news, have conversation, like inviting you into my house, and we're just having good old talks about things that we like. And then the show gets random throughout the, 100% chat is part of the show. So again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you'd like to go above and beyond that. Become a member as little as $5. Good morning, Eclipse. What's going on, Gene? Morning, Travis. What's going on, Dustin? Silver. How's it going? Robert Jones. Kylo Green first. What's going on? Yeah, Eclipse says, is the Daily Grind a new title? It is not. It is not. I have... Here, I'll show you. This is my original logo for the Daily Grind. We've had this for, I want to say 5 years, 6 years, Eclipse. I change things time to time. We had this way back when we were on Mixer, is what we did. We were on Twitch, then we went to Mixer, then we went back to Twitch, then we went to YouTube. So we've done a bunch of different stuff. It used to be called the Daily Grind in the morning. It was a morning. Same thing that I do now. I've been doing this the entire time before everybody else on YouTube did it, but I'm just such a small, small content creator that it looks like I do what everyone else does, where they just talk about stuff. You know what I mean? So, you love the shirt? Thanks. Yeah, it's it used to be a large, now it's like a medium on me. I gotta find a new one. I gotta find a new one. All right, let's see what else you guys are saying here. Today I have a good show. I'll check with you tonight, but I'm with the family and then home tomorrow. Oh, nice. All right. Well, if you're not here, Travis, if you are here, see you later. Eclipse says, I don't believe Suicide Squad is going to be free soon. Like I understand, it could have been on Game Pass, but actually free, I feel so used. Yeah. I've never seen Suicide Squad. Rocksteady, I think, would have the biggest fall from the top, right? They've had the most beloved franchise in comic book game history with the Batman Arkham games, to the shittiest, right? To the shittiest comic book game in existence, which I have to say, it's impressive. It's impressive. Let's give them a round of applause, because this will go down in history as what not to do with your game and how to implode it in less than 3 months. 4 months? It's amazing. Artemis, good morning. More cats. What's going on? Planet Coaster 2 is releasing this fall, and gameplay trailer July 31st. Planet Coaster 2. Oh, did they just do a trailer? Oh, gameplay trailer July 31st. So where did it say it? Did it say it on Twitter that they're doing Planet Coaster 2? I love Planet Coaster. Planet Coaster was such a great game. Hands down. If you know, you know. But Bullfrog made Theme Park. Hold on. I think I have the original disc. Hold on one second. This was one of the greatest games when I was a kid. I stayed up. God, I don't even know. Well, younger. I shouldn't say kid. I mean, 1996. I was like 17. But I wouldn't go to sleep. I played this, right? I played this so much I loved it. Those of you that don't know what this is called a CD, right? And it's amazing. Back in my day, the game was on this thing called the disc. I know, it's crazy.
Back in my day.
Yeah, they actually fit it on this little thing. It was crazy. Even before that, legit released 5 minutes ago. We'll see. You get to talk about it here first. Go on, Dolphin. Is Suicide Squad is that what you're saying, Robert? SS is crossplay? I believe it is. I believe it is. We're still waiting for offline mode though, right? They haven't added that, or did they add that? Yeah, the whole thing about the daily grind Eclipse, when I came up with it like 6 years ago, 6 years ago, was I was like, I'm doing the daily grind, right? We're talking about news, the daily grind, and I have a daily grind of coffee, and that's what the whole thing was. Sometimes you would play games that needed multiple discs. I know, it's crazy. Remember the floppies? God, I don't miss the floppies. When I had my Apple IIc back in the day, floppy disks were the worst. Were the worst. You would you had a load disk. You would put the load disk in. Then once you had the load disk, you would pick a thing, and then it would be like, insert disk 1. Then you had to stop. And we all had like little boxes, right? Like a Rolodex type of thing. And then you would look through and go, oh, okay, disc 2. And then you would put disc 2 in. And then you would play a little bit, and then you would go through a door, and then it would say, insert disc 4. And you're like, all right, disc 4. And you take disc, you pop that out, you put the other one in. It was amazing times. It was amazing times. I've been said Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was Avengers 2.0. I don't know whoever said 2.0. They literally did things better than Avengers as far as game-wise of like what they put in the game from the start, but they completely imploded after day one. It's been an absolute shitfest. Again, it's going to go down in history of what not to do when you release a game. Whatever Rocksteady, okay, did with Suicide Squad, you're going to look back and go, don't do that. Don't do what they did. Don't do it. Daily grind of coffee? How about a daily pod of coffee? Ugh. I mean, I use the pods, but I grind my own coffee and put it in a pod. So, I'm a coffee snob, right? I like my coffee, like freshly ground coffee that I put in. Dustin comes in. Planet Coaster 2 is coming out in fall 2024. Yeah, Kylo already told us about it, but thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to talk, you know what? We might as well talk about it first, right? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it first, shall we? I love people that always leave comments in my videos, which is pretty funny. They always tell me that I'm being disingenuous or I'm doing clickbait titles in my uploads when all I'm doing is reading an article that I didn't write and then giving an opinion on the article. That really makes me laugh, like literally out loud. My wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just laughing at some stupid comment. Oh, no, I used mud water. I used mud water for a really long time, Brain. I was like 2 years drinking mud water. I thought it was good. It was just getting too expensive to keep getting the stuff. They kept raising the prices and stuff. Right, Mo. Right? They don't watch the actual video. They just, like literally all I do is read the article that someone wrote, gave their opinion, and I'm giving my opinion off their opinion. And they're like, it's such a clickbait title. Me reading the news? Okay. Did you see the update for First Descendant? They changed the drop rate on rare materials. Good or bad? I didn't see it, Roadkill. Did they make the changes where it's good? Oh, I see it right here. Added matchmaking for for hard. Renamed monster patterns. More rare basic materials from cryptic vaults. Better UI UX for battle supply shop. Optimize the bug fixes. Oh, let me go to the. Well, let's see what else they got. I mean, let's just go here. Isn't that more pleasant on the eyes? See, I care about my chat, right? I could blast you in the face with blam, and I'm like, whoa, let me tone that down, okay? All right, let's see. You can get limited access skins for free from the Battle Supply Shop. Complete preseason. What is this? This is Greetings Descendants. The first Descendant Hotfix patch is now live. Content improvements. Added a start public operation function matchmaking in hard mode. Start public operations available even if the change selected rewards. Removed sequential type of immunity spheres from named monsters that they also been changed to either a default extermination types. Okay, the dev team acknowledges the community's concern about monetization, pattern name monsters, and strives to enhance them. In particular, we've noted that the pattern involving breaking spheres is a specific order isn't appropriate for public matching. As a new pattern are developed, we will soon update the pattern's existing name monsters one by one. Okay. Director's comment. Increase the quality of rare basic materials dropped from encrypted vaults threefold. The Elite Vulgus and appears the field mission, the infiltrate operations, will now drop them too. The most effective way to farm rare basic materials is still through the cryptic vaults, but for those who are preferred hunter monsters, they also update the field missions and infiltrate operations to drop these materials too. The dev team will closely monitor overall farming status and do the best to create joyful environment for all. That's good that they're listening. Hilly Hijinks, thank you very much for the continued support and the membership. Thank you very much. Says reduce the time from 290 seconds to 260-second occupation for the Kingston Vulgus data transmitter. Hacking missions, improve the battle pass battle supply shop button visibility by redesigning it to format the bonus shop banner. You can get season limited skins for free from the battle supply shop. Complete preseason challenges to claim your special skins. That's nice. Dustin Straw, thank you very much for the 12-month membership. Appreciate it very much. Thank you for the continued support. Director says, many Descendants have commented on the Descendants instructor dialogue contains many useful game tips. Currently not possible to revisit the previous dialogues, but we're planning to fix this. We're also continuing to improve the Descendant easily access information that require. Move the guide NPCs to meet after first arriving on Albion closer. The optimization improvements on PC, they did a bunch. Bug fixed for UI, UX. Fix some of the Descendants. An issue, Descendants could not get out of the DBNO when their HP was below 100%. Fixed an issue with Kyle. And they fixed an issue. Okay, so they fixed that. Modules, equipment, they fixed the field. Instant dungeon, fixed an issue. Research, miscellaneous. Okay, additional comments. It has come to our attention our community is worried about possible nerfs to Tamer and Glen Infinite magazine builds, and the meta is very strong, but since it's within the scope of what the dev team has planned, there is no immediate plans to do so. So grind that shit out now. In addition, some weapons are more powerful than the Tamer, and there are also a variety of character builds that rival Glenn's. She's that medic, the girl, the sexy girl with the glasses, Infinite Magazine. So please enjoy them fully. We've been looking forward to seeing Descendants use creative builds to take down powerful Colossus swiftly, so they're quite delightful to see the action now. We're also well aware of many Descendants being farmed in earnest, various discussions about taking place regarding drop rates. There's no viable drop rate system in First Descendant. We're using a fixed rates display in the game, and the dev team has reviewed the acquisition rates across the servers and confirmed that dropping according to the rates displayed. We're currently working on various measures to ensure a community can trust the dev team, such as disclosing item drop amounts for each content. I love how they have to make that specifically clear because of what their shenanigans they've done in the past with other games. They're like, we're showing you exactly, this is exactly what it is. We're not trying to pull one over on your eyes, right? They want you to trust them. So what I say is, don't let your guard down. Don't let your guard down. Don't trust them for 1 second. You keep playing the game, but you don't trust them. They want you to get trusted. They can stab you with more microtransactions and rates. Don't do it. The game's been out less than a week, and the devs better be active right now. Check back 90 days and see how active they are. But we used to hear everything about Helldivers. Helldivers 2, they were talking every single day. Where have they been? They've been pretty quiet. Right. It's like William Wallace. Hold. Hold. Oh, here's the trailer for Planet Coaster 2. I don't need to listen to music. We'll just watch it. This is such a great game. If you've never played Planet Coaster 2, this is a game that you can literally put thousands of hours in just decorating your front of your gate. Okay? Or designing one coaster. You can click on every single character in the game. You can race. Oh, that's cool. Oh, my son's going to want this. Is this coming out for console or just PC? Planet Coaster 2. Well, here's what I'll say about Planet Coaster 2. Remember, City Skylines 2 was also supposed to come out the exact same time when they announced it, and then it got delayed, and then there was massive problems with it, and it's still... Is it out for console yet? City Skylines 2? I think it is now. But it was supposed to come out in like October of last year. And so I'm not going to hold my breath for Planet Coaster 2 to come out right away with not problems and whatnot, just because that's the way it goes, right? So we'll see. Yeah, no, Suicide Squad itself wasn't a bad game. It was just that it was a bad game because of what they've chose to do with it now, right? People are upset about the story, but story's story until it's done, and then you can bitch about the story if it was good or bad, but they're still telling the story, at least you would hope. But the implementation of the new seasons and the characters and what they're doing is terrible. So let's talk about that, okay? Because they showed off last week, I think. They showed off the Karen Freeze. I know that's not her name, but that's what we're going with, right? They showed off Karen Freeze, and they said that they're doubling down on which I said on my stream weeks ago. I was like, they're probably just going to double up the bad guys, so we're just going to get two guys at the same time, whatever. But so let's look at this. If you guys like what I do here, we cover news stories Monday through Thursday. Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. We just read news stories, give you my opinions off the article. I haven't read the article yet. I'm reading it on stream, first time with you guys, and then give you my thoughts and opinions on it. If you like that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We have a good time here. All right, so 2 days before the launch, let me shut this music off. 2 days before the launch and a week after its reveal, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League Season 2 gets delayed. I mean, bravo. All right, guys. We know it's been bad. Suicide Squad's been rough. But we're going to get them back this time. Let's announce Karen Freeze. Put it out there. What? It's delayed? All right, pull it back. Pull it back. Tell them it's delayed. All right, so let's get on to this. Just days before launch, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League 2 has been delayed all the way back to July 25th. Update Task Force X will be adjusted to releasing timing for the next season. Suicide Squad game Season 2 will now launch on July 25th. And the devs say on Twitter, "Thank you for your patience. No reason for the delay was given." I wonder if the delay was because of what's happening right now with the first Descendant. I'm gonna put it out there, right? The game came out. It's pretty popular right now. It's about the same. You know, it's a looter type of game. I wonder if they posted it because everyone's in there and no one's coming back. Nobody's coming back. If I had a cricket sound right now, I would do it. Okay. But that's just my original thought here. Okay. It says, "Thank you for your patience. No reason for the delay was given. The update previously been scheduled for the launch on July 11th. The content for Season 2 was only properly unveiled on July 3rd, offering a new playable character, Mrs. Karen Freeze, alongside 2 additional episodes, a new battle pass, and an array of other content. We haven't seen any footage of this content in action. Nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about. They showed Joker 2 months ahead of time. Haven't seen any gameplay of Karen Freeze, and we are going with that, by the way. Okay, we haven't seen any video footage of Karen Freeze whatsoever. Should you be worried? Probably not, because you already own the game, so there's nothing to be worried about. And the people that were going to buy the game are not going to buy the game, because it's coming out for free, supposedly. So it'll be out soon, and everyone can play it, but no one will. Okay, so Suicide Squad launched the Tibbet response earlier this year, okay, and its post-launch updates have fared even worse. The Season 1 content was mangled from its limited content offerings, and also Season 2 rolled out was not inspired much confidence in things of going to improve. But hey, time will tell, even as the time gets increasingly lengthy between seasons. The Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League roadmap was detailed before the launch, promising 4 seasons of additional content. A Bloomberg report earlier this year noted that the game's struggles resulted in a $200 million loss for publisher Warner Bros. Again, that takes out of context so bad. The game itself didn't lose them $200 million. During that quarter with other things, it was part of the $200 million, but it didn't lose $200 million itself. But they love to... Anyway, Rocksteady is nonetheless fulfilling the promises of the seasonal updates at best they can. But they also suggest Rocksteady is already looking to return to its roots with a new single-player game. I'll tell you what. Like, take it out back and real quick just go... pa, and put it out of its misery, right? And putting it out of its misery is putting it to free to play, right? Because they're not I've never seen a game that depended on microtransactions so bad that they haven't had any microtransactions in the game. Like, think about how bad after the game came out, where they're like, yeah, all the content's free, and then we'll just charge for cosmetic transactions. And they haven't, at least Marvel's Avengers, as poor as that was, as them adding stuff. Okay. Now, I did see that I'm not too sure. I'm gonna have to find it, but I'm pretty sure they're actually putting the original Harley Quinn skin, the one that she closed the gate, the locker door on and said "as if" or whatever. I think they're actually putting it in the game now, it just makes me laugh. It's like, make a statement, I'm not that person, and then go back and actually do it. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting to see what happens, what they're doing. Obviously, they're done supporting it, right? And what I mean done supporting it, I mean they're just doing what they've already made and bringing it out as fast as possible because it's obsolete now. It's obsolete, right? So here you go. Miller Ross on Twitter, in his tweet, he says, take it on this. PC copies of Marvel's Avengers were given away for free on day one as part of the promotion with Verizon. Every time Avengers went temporarily free, which it did numerous times, the player count exploded and the entire community wished it would stay the way in order to save the game. 3, free games on Epic Game Store, news at 11. Okay, regardless of how you feel about the game itself, I quite like it. The PC port is unmitigated disaster that only gets worse with the patches. Frankly, it's not worth buying at any price in its current state. So what's happening here is celebrate Prime Day with extra free games. So Prime is giving out Tomb Raider, giving out Chivalry 2, and Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, which is crazy because the game came out in February, right? And they're like, we got to get something. Let's just give the game out for free, which, again, goes back to what I always say on this channel. You don't need to buy a game day one. If you don't buy a game day one, okay, or week one, or month one, it'll go on sale pretty goddamn fast, right? So if you're a person that doesn't want to pay $70 for a video game, stay strong to your values and core, right? Because you can get the game cheaper. And it's not bad because games don't need to keep raising prices. And they will go up to $80, no doubt about it, okay? But if you really like a game, there's so many games. There's so many games, just like music. There's so much artists and music out there. You'll never really have to buy a brand new CD or digital download of music because there's so much music that you can listen to that you would never need to listen to new music ever again. Okay? Same with video games. There are so many video games since 1980, okay, that you can go back in a catalog. You don't even have to go back that far. You can go back down to just 2015 to now, and there's so many games for you to try and play that you don't need to buy a game day one, and this is just yet another reason not to buy a game day one. Let people like myself, on a content creator, play a game, show you the game, and then you make the actual choice. If you like this game, you're like, oh, that's something I could pick up, or if someone tells you, hey, it's a good game, but it's not worth it, because I said it. This is not, I got it as a gift, right? And it's not worth the full price of $70. I say it's around a $30, $40 game when we played it. I have 100 hours in it. I enjoyed my time with the story, but the actual loop of the game afterwards, not very good. And I said that originally. Okay, story's fine. Right now, the first Descendant has a better loop at the start than Suicide Squad had at the end in Endgame. Right? But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think of Suicide Squad? I said that they're going to support it until all the seasons are out. We talked to Miller back before the game came out. He said they had a 15 to 20 month plan, okay, for the game. And I think now they've condensed it where they've taken that 15, 20 month plan and they've condensed it into 12. They're just shoving stuff faster into the game. But let me know your opinion down below in the comment section or in live chat here. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. And those of you that are new, we don't actually end the stream. We do little breakout videos of the topics that we do here. So that's why I do the little send-off there. All right, let me see what you guys. What's going on, Argus? There were supposed to be like 13 different Brainiacs. Oh, there still is. There still is. Have you seen? Here. They're still doing it. Let me bring up. It's going to be a little blurry on this picture, but. So in this picture, they're combining. So right here, it says Elseworld Mayhem map. They're bringing in Superman and the Flash Brainiac fight, so that's 2 more. Then they're bringing Green Lantern and Superman Brainiac fight, which is 2 more. They're doing exactly... they're doing exactly what I said they were going to do before they even announced the 13 Brainiacs. I was like, so what are they going to do? They're going to do Batman, Green Lantern, Superman, Flash, and then they're going to do a variation of Batman, Superman, and then do it again, and then double them up. It's like, holy Christ. It's bad. It's bad. They went in all in on a shitty, and I said this from the start. I said it all depends on what they do for the end game type of stuff. I said I'm only playing that game for the single player campaign. If I like the the end game, I'll play it. But holy Christ, man, they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. Amazing. Amazing. I hate being right when they do that stuff, right? But they're doing exactly that. And it's sad. So you know exactly what that was. That was a cash grab. A cash grab. And then they couldn't even do the cash grab correctly. Right? They couldn't even do the cash grab correctly. The skins that have come out in the game. Yeah, look down here. I'll look at a better screenshot. This is down here. Look. Look at the item. Do you see Harley Quinn? Do you see it? That's the thing they told you they weren't going to bring to the game. It's amazing. It's amazing how Harley Quinn's getting her iconic outfit. Isn't that weird? Weird. Robert Jones says it would be cool to see the game tested in 2 markets. One market gets traditional release with all the content up front, and the other one gets what we have now. I guarantee you the one up front would be better. That is the theme, Water. So much potential, yet so little execution, right? And here's the thing. Think about what's happening with the first Descendant right now. Did you have any expectations for the first Descendant? No, you didn't, right? And you're enjoying it a lot. Not you personally, just people that are playing it, right? Suicide Squad had the expectations of all the other games that came before it because they're trying to do the exact same thing, right? And it's a known IP. So the potential, we're like, oh man, this could be good. And then it was a letdown. Jason says, my condolences on all those who spent money on this. Yeah, Jason feels it because he played Marvel's Avengers. But this is done exponentially faster on the downfall of Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad should have collaborated with Redfall. Oh, what's going on, Ron? Dolphin says, this is why $20 Game Pass is still worth it. I've wasted about $300 on shitty games on Steam this last year. Ron says, I just wanted to shoot things. I liked Outriders and Godfall as well. Crowded House says, the city is just surface level obstacle course. It's so uninteresting. Yeah, I think it was fine, Crowded, through the story, right? Doing the story, 10, 15 hours of the game, it was fine. But then not bringing story in with the Joker, just a 2-minute clip type of stuff, missed expectations and what they were doing. Karen Freeze, I don't give a shit about. I don't care. Salty says, rehash, repeat. And they never added any new activities. What a disgrace. Yeah, well, no, they did. They did, right? The big gun battle that you played in the regular game, they removed it after you beat it, and then put it into season or part 2 of season 1. That's the new thing they added. I'm like, you literally just took it away, and then put it back in. That's not adding a new activity. That's adding the same activity that we couldn't play. How stupid do they think they're? It's like playing peekaboo. It's like peekaboo, and they're like, oh, and right, that's how stupid these companies think you are. They're like, here's the thing, I take it away. Here it is. You're like, oh my god, I want to play it. Oh, I'm so excited. That's what they do. It's just like when you play peekaboo with a baby. The baby is surprised every time you go, oh, peekaboo, right? It's so freaking amazing. They're like, we're going to put a new activity in. Here it is. So dumb. DEI crashed their checks and left the building. Thus, Rocksteady can release the Harley outfit. Maybe. Adding icicles on top of buildings is supposed to make the game feel fresh. Yeah. But do you see that we're so accustomed to this now? Destiny did the same thing. Destiny gave you the moon, took the moon away, gave you back the moon. They gave you the dreadnought, took the dreadnought away, gave you back the dreadnought, right? It's the same thing. But the difference is when people like something, they don't complain. When people don't like something, they shit on it and make sure it burns to the ground. She looks like a Korean Karen. Look, Suicide Squad released with a lot of potential. They choose differently. Warframe was in a bad place back then, and they found a different path, different landscape. I know, but still. Here's the thing, though, Brain. You're absolutely correct about that. But before Warframe, there was no something to compare Warframe to. There was no Destiny to compare something to, right? The only thing that was... I said the same thing. I just listened to a podcast that I did back in 2018 because I was looking for something. And I came across when Destiny was launching, and we talked about how Defiance was doing something that nobody has done to this day, basically. Defiance, they would have like 50, 60 people fighting a boss in the middle of the world boss in the middle of the game, okay? And then all of a sudden, Destiny showed a trailer where in the Cosmodrome, you're fighting the little, the walker. You had a group of 3 people fighting it, and then 3 more came over the wall, if you guys remember that. And then 3 more came in. There was 9 people, and everyone's like, woo! And they were like losing their minds because they had 9 people like come into a battle. And I was like, why is everyone excited about that? Defiance had 60 people on the screen with like vehicles jumping in. Sure, it was shit because it was the frame drops would happen, or drop frames would happen. But they were doing stuff way before all these other... They're like, we put 9 people. They're like, whoa, 9? 9 people? Right? And you still couldn't jump over that goddamn wall in the Cosmodrome. Okay? You have a ceiling 10 feet above you. Okay? People have goldfish brain. I don't. I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Okay? So Warframe and Destiny and all of them didn't get compared to anything because they were the first open world, live service type of games, right? Oh, no, Dolphin. Yeah, Halo, but Halo in the campaign was 2 people, right? 2 people when it came out, okay? We're not talking about the PvP area. We're talking about in the PvE part of the game where you had 50 people in Defiance. So now, what I'm saying, Brain, before I read what you said there, right, is that people didn't have expectations of those games. Warframe and Destiny were like the first. And then they were like, oh, okay, this is the standard. Then when all the other live service games came out, we were comparing them to those games. We're comparing to those games. And then we have a base level of what to compare to, right? This game is not as good as this game. I had fun playing this game. This game doesn't feel the same. And that's what it is. And that's what your next comment looks like. All right, comparison or not, a good game is a good game. Suicide Squad could have been a good power fantasy for DC game, period. Full stop. No comparing. And they couldn't made it a good game for DC fans. Right. But they didn't. They screwed it up because they were going for the monetization part of the game and not the actual make the game good game. Go on, Marky Mark. Big Mo says Suicide Squad had no chance from the start, and they already had a hit squad tearing it up apart from the start because it wasn't Batman. Sure, Mo, and that's great, but at the same time, a good game, like Brain just said, a good game would stand out. People can hate on a show or a book or a movie, but the movie would speak for itself. The book would speak for itself. The game would speak for itself. And the game, again, I stand by it. I thought the single-player aspect of the game was a good thing. They did some really nice things with the co-op, cross-play, jump in, jump out type of stuff. They did a lot of good things that the other ones that came before it had struggles to do it in the beginning, okay? They had a good pyramid in the start, right? We always talk about the upside-down pyramid, right? They had the upside-down pyramid in the start, but then when it got to the end game, they fumbled the ball right before the end zone, right? They did that famous Miami Dolphin Cowboys game in the snow. You guys remember this? Those of you that followed sports ball, okay? I used to be a big sports fan. I forget what year it was, but there was a big, I forget, it was at the end of the season or a playoff game. The Dolphins were going up against the Cowboys, okay? And they were running, and the guy showboated, and he dropped the ball before he crossed the end zone. And then didn't score. Okay? That's what Suicide Squad, that's what Rocksteady has done with Suicide Squad. That's why I matter. Only problem is who the fuck played Defiance. I wish I had. Defiance was a great game. Great game, Jones, when it came out. It was ahead of its time. I know I've talked about this before, but I'll say it again because everyone's new sometimes here, right? Defiance was a great game because it was doing something that I don't think any other game has tried and done successfully, right? I think some other tried, but they didn't do it well. Defiance had a TV show running simultaneously with the game. They had it on Sci-Fi Network. I think it ran for 3 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. And they would run an episode, I think on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. And then on Thursday, they would do the update in Defiance. Okay? So, like, the show would air, or maybe it was vice versa. But the show would air, they would have, and it took place in Missouri, in St. Louis. And the game took place in San Francisco in California. Right? And the world was devastated and whatnot, and they would have characters in the show that would show up in the game, and the people in the game would show up in the show. It was, like, mind-blowing on how they had to do it, right? And the actual show was pretty good season 1, and the game was pretty good in the beginning. Nice open-world game. You could trade, good economy, good guns, good. You could play with lots of group of people. Matchmaking was good. The dungeons were fun. Like, everything. And then all of a sudden, they showed the trailer. Obviously, it was like 8 months later, but they showed the trailer for Destiny. And everyone loses their mind because they saw 9 people fighting on it. They're like, this is awesome. This is amazing. And I was like, yeah, it's great. It looks good, but they're doing less than what we're already playing now. When the fuck was this going on? 2012, 2013, if I'm not mistaken. (2013), 3 seasons. Yeah, it came out 1 year before Destiny came out. Eclipse says, I would love the first Descendant to do that. If it's like the Colossus invaded Albion, they could have it where it's also an instance where everyone in Albion can join the fight. Yeah, I said it last night. They should have some open world boss battles in the open world area. That would be neat. Yeah, it's a timer or something that happens, and like everyone that's on the board at the same time can come, or it radiates an Albion and it tells you what map the boss fight's happening on. The final death rattle for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is Amazon giving it away for free. The last grasp of hope. Well, as Miller said that they've done this in the past with Avengers as well. They would give it out free every couple months or whatever, just to influx the player base to come in, right? So they could be trying that to see what it does. Because if they put it out there and let's say another 200,000 people like download the game, and out of 200,000 people, 1,000 people give them $10 more. You know what I mean? Lutz, yes. Big Mo says, so the next map in the first Descendant is another got leveled up my weapons before I go there. I got ripped trying to do solo. Last night, after I got off playing with Yumo, I continued on to the next one, and I did this boss fight, and there's a timer. And the guys that were doing it, and the first, you kill the boss, and then he gets, I think it's like 3 balls above him. And you got to, they also have shields on them. They glow, and then they go off, and then they go, and then they go off, and you have to like shoot them in periodic time. And there's a timer going down. They were not doing enough damage. I was shredding. I knew for a fact that they didn't level up their guns. They were still running the guns like they were like 5 levels too low. I was shredding him. Okay, I know this because they all left and I was by myself. And I did the boss fight and I was this close to beating him, and then the timer ran out, and I was just so tired. I was like, I'll do it today. But after you kill the first wave, the second wave, he's got 4 balls above his head that are shielded, and they go off and on. And I thought it was a good fight. Like, the whole area is a good fight. I'm in the part after the White Gulch. I cut my loss with Suicide Squad. Can't be bothered with it anymore. Worlds, I'm gonna download when it comes out, July 25th or whatever. I'll come back from my trip. I'll download it. I will sacrifice myself just so I have content. I will play Karen Freeze for everyone. We will play it and give it a fair shake to see if Karen Freeze was a good add-on. Visually, she's not, but maybe she feels good. Maybe her guns and maybe the weapons they put in. I will play and I will stream it and show people what it is. Who's Dan Marino? Are you being facetious, Mo? Is that the actor from Pet Detective? Yeah, we just read the hotfix, Marky Mark, in the beginning of the show. Right, the evolution of those fights are 3, but 4. No, it's actually got the shields on it. Here's the thing, Salty, and I want to know. In all of these games that you have boss fights and different mechanics, what would be groundbreaking that hasn't been done before? You know what I mean? Can we come up with something like right now? Like, what happens, right? Do you stand on plates? Do you shoot balls? Do you shoot other guys? The shields? Do you have to change your weapon? And each round you have to use an orange weapon instead of a purple weapon? You know what I mean? Like bullets? Like, what would you recommend? I know we joke about, like, wow, it's groundbreaking. There's more balls to shoot at. But, like, what do we want as gamers? What would you like? I'll gladly let you suffer so the rest of us don't have to. You're welcome. I'm in that area right now after Grace Walker. I'm going to have to turn it on. I'm not even too sure. Are you already in that? You're after the Gulch already, Brain? Whoever came up with that character design / idea needs to be fired immediately. Oh, you're talking about Karen Frost. Yeah. Come on, Saint. Not groundbreaking, but more boss. Not groundbreaking, but more boss mounts. So I don't feel like it's clear grasp of the reactor skills and evolution. That's it. That's the one, Brain. Or Mo. I think I'm on part 2. I think I'm on part 2 of that section. See, my problem when I play games like this, I play through it and I don't really like retain anything. I'm just going through, so I don't know the names or anything of yet. And then once I'm done and I go back, I start playing, I start memorizing everything and what thing. Oh, you want to go here, or you want to do this. This is what your weapon. I start paying attention after the fact. Shadow of Colossus style, climb the boss. You can climb the boss, but the bosses that you're fighting with the balls above their head are too small to climb. Can you imagine? You're a 6-foot guy jumping on. You're like a female. And you just jump on the guy. Like, what are you gonna do? The move that they did in the Acolyte that they showed, where she like leaps out of nowhere and tackles the Wookiee. Like, is that groundbreaking? For something to be groundbreaking, I believe it will need new input methods, be that VR or not. Yeah, I just feel like if they changed the balls to squares, right, and it was a different mechanic for the shooting the square, it'd be like, oh, it's fucking more shapes. You know what I mean? Like, what you guys, and I say this very general, not you, Salty, like, you guys want new mechanics and new things, but what is it, right? Game designers haven't come up with anything, and the stuff that they've come up with is alternating of what they've learned in the past from other events. Stand on a plate, slam a ball, shoot a ball, right? Like, you got to shoot simultaneously. You got to hit them out of order. You got to, like, what can they do to make it where everyone's like, bro? And then even when they add that one thing to make it, like, amazing, they can never use that again, right? They can never use that again because we're like, oh, they just copied it again. Eventually, most bosses have at least 3 moves. It's easier to code after playing from the FromSoft games, learning more than 3 move sets and phase to test the player. Well, the difference is in FromSoft games, it's usually, besides Elden Ring when you come in, it's usually solo, one-on-one type of stuff, right? And it's a hack and slash. When you're shooting thousands of bullets into a boss, I mean, do all of a sudden, do I have to stop using my gun and run up to him and punch him? I mean, like, what are we doing? The Breakable Armor, Matter says, the Breakable Armor is a good touch, but they should have taken it further. All sections of the bosses should be breakable. Each section has a risk-reward system. Blow the weapon armor off the boss, like they did in Division. Division does that. In Division 1, it was a bullet sponge. In Division 2, you would break off the helmet, or you break off the shoulder pad, and then you would get the... They do that for the boss fights, right? They do that for the major boss fights. We're talking about the mini boss fights inside the little realms, where the guys are the same size as you, right? We're not talking about the big Colossus fights. Mo says, so if you look up Descendant, usually to check out the skills, and says the fusion tech sigil. Oh, you're talking about the reactor. Okay. Blow a leg off, but the legs take a long time to actually blow off. I feel like for gaming is a genre that they hit their ceiling. Sure. But you gotta admit, Salty, if you're a person that plays looter shooters, if you played Warframe, you played Destiny, you played Division, you played Destiny 2, you played Division 2, you played Marvel's Avengers, you played Anthem, you played all these looter type shooters over the last decade, anything that comes out is going to rinse and repeat something that they used in those games. It's kind of like raids in Destiny. A small percent of players' base only play for complete them. So the harder you make something, the less the player base is going to see it anyway. Right. Right, Paul. It's never ceased to amaze me how coward these devs are when they know not selling a game could completely ruin them. It's not like making a movie after all. Well, no, because when you make a movie, your movie's in the can. You can delay the movie, and you can do reshoots for the movie, but and they do testings, right? They do a showing for someone, and they see how the ratings happen with the showing, and then they make changes. So it's still the same, but it's in a smaller scale because they don't show it to millions of people. They show it to thousands of people, see what they think about it, and then they make changes before they go mass release. Would the evolution be the combination of both melee fighting and gunfighting combined through phases? Sure. Okay, so let's say there was a melee class, or instead of having 3 guns, you have 2 weapons and a melee weapon, right? And then maybe you're fighting a boss and you're shooting the balls above their head, and then the one phase now you use your melee weapon. Well, once you do that boss, now the next boss that you fight, it might have a melee thing. You're going to be like, well, that's the same. Like, how many times do they have to change the mechanic of the stuff, right? They have quite a variation of it, right? They have the balls. They have the balls with the shields. They have more balls, right? Then they have the characters that shield the guys. Okay, you have to kill all the guys that shield. And then within those guys, they have the guys with the red circles around their heads that you can only damage them when you shoot in the center point of the target. Okay, so there are different things happening, but we're just blowing through it anyway because you're just shooting 1,000 bullets into their faces. It all feels kind of the same because it's the same. It is the same. I don't think they could make something so groundbreaking, and even if they did, the next time they used it, you'd be like, oh, they just used that again. So what gamers are asking for is unattainable, because if they have 10 boss fights, then they would have to make 10 brand new mechanics never seen before for those 10 boss fights. And then they could never use those 10 mechanics ever again anywhere else in the game because then it would be copying and using the same thing over and over. So, like, what do? 10 years of Destiny, you're still standing on plates. 10 years of Destiny, you're still slamming balls into something. 10 years of Destiny, you still have the guy with the shield, and you're still, right? It's the same stuff, but they alternate in some ways to make you feel like it's new, right? All games have fetch quests. They're all the same fetch quests, but some feel different than others. One issue, though, they also have to make it so you can also solo everything in the first Descendant. That's another good point, Paul. Another good point, right? Because if they wanted to add certain mechanics, like in a raid in Destiny, where you need a full team to do the stuff, but in this game, you can play solo. You can play with 2 people. You can play with 3 people. You can play with 4 people, okay? And they have to make sure the mechanics are able to do it by solo compared to a group. Very true. Unless it's like what Avengers did, where your NPCs would stand on plates for you. You know what I mean? But then you would have to have a new mechanic in the game where if you're playing solo, you can have a companion with you, type of thing. I'm so addicted to the first Descendant. My first looter shooter I've played. I fucking love it. Good, Road. It's a fun game. It really is. I said this last night when we were shooting the shit with Sarge. I like the game because there's always something to do. There's always something to go for. Because even if you already got the pieces to make a gun, there's new stuff to get another gun, or make the same gun to make that first gun you made better, right? Or you're going for a Descendant, or you're going for a piece, or you're going for material, or you're just trying to clear the board, or maybe you're trying to beat the boss faster. Like, there's so much stuff to do. And I get that because it's a new game. Okay? But even when it's not new, you're like, well, I need this material. You go grind that material. The chill tech and fusion is 3. I thought it was the element and subset, like tech dimensions. This is just from higher level. I'm only level 15. I already love this game. Right now, I'm going to be going to for everybody and getting optimal build that I like with them all. I think I'm going to unlock a certain amount of... I'm going to beat the game, myself. I'm going to beat the single-player aspect of it, like the story mode. Then I'm going to work on unlocking characters by just casually grinding for all the characters. And then figure out where I really want to, like, hone in on. And then start making the build for characters that I like to play. I wish I was still throwing balls and standing on plates in Destiny. Have you seen the new raids? They are so mechanic heavy, and they use these stupid memory games now. It's annoying. Well, they had the memory games already in Destiny from the past. Right? They're like, oh, cup and ball, and you have to shoot that. Like, what it is. How come no one's upset about that? Ah, it's the same mechanics. They don't complain about it because the people playing Destiny still like Destiny. And when you like something, you don't really complain about it because you just accept it. You're like, yeah, it's fine. I'm having fun. Marky Mark says once you unlock hard mode, there's even more stuff to go after. Well, there you go. So I think I'm still going to stay true to beat normal mode, unlock more characters, and then decide where I want to go. But I might get sidetracked, I'll be honest. I'm buying a second PlayStation to bring my grandmother's. Because she's got her real sick, and now I have to live with her half the week for the time, and she's 90. Oh, God bless her. God bless her. My wife's grandmother is 95. So go hang out with her. Put a controller in her hand, see if she can do it. Yeah, we already talked about the Suicide Squad delay. think the real evolution of boss fights will now be mechanical but more AI. Once a boss can move around more freely and fight you based on the playstyle, that will be revolutionary. Well, I did notice in this boss fight, and I'm not saying it's AI generated in any way, shape, or form, but obviously, I notice when I do more damage, the bosses, we're talking about the Colossuses now, they tend to come after your ass, and they'll just keep coming after you, and you gotta run and hide or get away before, and then the other guys have to shoot. So I do like that feeling where I don't feel like they're just kind of area of effect. They're just like sweeping their arm at people in that direction. They literally pick and choose. They're like, "You're shooting me?" And they turn and they start focusing on you. You get aggro. It feels good with that because then the other three can, like, you could pull someone, right? So if someone's getting beat on, you can pull that aggro and make them turn towards you so they can save somebody, pick them up if they're down. Call Tassie did 180 on the game because he realized everybody loved it and he wouldn't have a channel anymore because Destiny is done. Is that true? He did a 180? He didn't like the game when it first came out? Well, I guess good for him for making content that he said he was wrong. I don't know. Is that the new meta? Play something, don't like it, and then turn around and say that you like it? I don't know. I'm not even exaggerating there. There's like 30 different symbols that you have to memorize. Awesome. I'm actually bringing the Meta Quest 3 tonight, and I'm going to put it in on her. See what happens. Hopefully she survives. Make sure I put it on my mom and my dad. My dad put it on for like a minute and a half. Was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. My mom plays, and she'll play like the mini golf game and stuff like that. The walkabout golf. Dude, when I took aggro for the pyro, not last night, but we beat him last night, which is good, awesome job last night when we did it with the group. But when I was playing it before the stream, I aggroed him, and the dude was chasing me around the entire map. He would not leave me alone, and I hate that giant fireball that follows you and then shoots 1,000 balls out of it. You're done, okay? What you have to do is you have to run behind something and stay there until the big ball hits it and blows it up, and then get the hell out of there is what you got to do. I think shooting a boss to the point that its next phase, your guns get shorted out. Now he pulls out a melee weapon with readable movesets. Every boss is separated movesets. That would be interesting. So what you're saying, Salty, I could see that, right? So what you're saying is you want to go from what it is right now to the second phase being like a monster hunter type of thing, and then go back into... That would be interesting. I don't know how difficult that would be to code because you have to have all the animations and stuff like that, the tells. This is why I love Monster Hunter World. And what was the other one like Monster Hunter? Dauntless, right? I'd like those games because I felt like every battle that you did felt special because nothing was the same. Because the monster would act differently and do the tells that it was doing to let you know what it was about to attack, and you have to dodge and move and slay and shoot. And I really liked Monster Hunter and Dauntless for that. With shooters, though, you don't get that same feeling. Shooters, you don't get that same feeling because you're just shooting guns. That common, though, Destiny does it too. The person doing the most damage gets aggro. No, I get that, but what I'm saying is, I guess the boards are different. I don't know. It's the same. You're absolutely right, Dolphin. It's the same, but I'm saying that for the Colossus, it feels good. The boss fights feel good for the Colossus when you're on match with them. When you just blow them up, it just takes 2 seconds. But when you're on level with them, the boss battles feel good. They don't feel cheap. They don't feel they feel fair, right? Where the other mini fights that you do, those don't feel as good with the balls coming above their head. Monster Hunter, you grapple on them, bang off parts. I mean, I love it. Everything is right. Monster Hunter to me is like the chef's kiss of what a looter should be. Because if you want to make weapons or armor, you have to break off certain parts of that, and you have to focus. So you're not going just for the kill; you're going for the parts and then the kill to get extra parts. I thought it was amazing. I loved that game when we played it. Yeah, I would like to play the hard mode and see how the difference is. I was saying that last night, like, Marky Mark, so you're in the end game. Well, you're in the hard mode, right? So does the entire world, all the lands, do they start scaling with you, or are they just at 100? All the enemies at 100 on every level? BB says, I just made it to hard mode last night. Nice. Like I said, Mike, it's all a lot of coding that really what it comes down to is stand out and make a new game unique and special now. I feel like you don't have to make that many changes, though, to make a game feel special, right? Like, I do feel like the first Descendant has a really good loop. It does. As much as people are giving shit to the microtransactions, and I'll stand right next to you with the microtransaction conversation, right? Because you guys know where I stand on microtransactions, especially egregious ones, okay? But the gameplay, the core, like Anthem had a good core gameplay, but they just didn't finish the game. A Marvel's Avengers had a good core gameplay, but they just fucked it up with the way you were doing it and didn't continue doing it, right? Even Suicide Squad has a good core of the gameplay, but they fucked it up as well. The first Descendant has already bypassed what those games made mistakes on because it's a free-to-play game, and it has to be fun. It has to be good because that's the only way you're going to keep playing it, right? You don't have the $50, $60, $70 investment into that game. You're playing it because it's free. You're like, oh, I'll give it a try. And you're like, oh, it's actually pretty good, right? And that loop is really good within that game. Yes, they scale with you. Everything's at 100. See, I like that. So it's sort of like, well, not sort of like, it's Division 2 then. Once you're done with the complete game of Division 2, then the whole map turns into and scales with you and whatnot. The first Descendant has everything that you want in a good looter shooter. Now all we have to do is build on what they already have. The areas explored, weapons, enemies, etc. I would like to know what's happened with Transformers Reactivate. I swear to you, I feel like the way that the leaks, the talks about it, now they haven't come out themselves. I'm telling you, I feel like Transformers Reactivate is going to be exactly like what the first Descendant is right now. As far as instead of getting Descendants, you're getting Autobots and Decepticons. Instead of, the weapons, you're going to be upgrading your robot and the weapons on that. There is melee in that game as well. Like, I feel like you're doing the exact same thing. So you need these resources and materials from this section. That's how you get Bumblebee. You get these sections of this. That's how you get Valby in the first Descendant. I feel like this is going to be a one-to-one comparison almost. Let's just hope the microtransactions aren't as egregious as the first Descendant. Roko says, I don't really care about the microtransactions because you don't have to do them. They're giving us a hell of a lot of game for free. Right. Because they want you to pay for those microtransactions. Did you see the change in the Concord earlier access to open beta for all PlayStation Plus users? Some are suggesting pre-orders are low. Oh, for 100%. If they're doing that, 100%. Well, this is, I just love more options and feel like a Swiss Army knife and believe guns and melee together with special abilities are always a win. That's why Warframe, I think, did very good. I like using the melee weapons in Warframe. Guns and melee, I thought it was great. But now think about this. If they came out and added a melee into the first Descendant, they're already saying it's a Warframe, copy. That would be really a copy. If Transformers is exactly like the first Descendant would lose. for me. I would not be playing both. I would drop the first Descendant, and I would only play Transformers. If it's a one-to-one comparison, it's just take first Descendant and put a Transformers skin on it, and that's what Transformers Reactivate is. I'm 100% playing Transformers Reactivate. I'm waiting for a Transformers game like this for a really long time. Since Destiny 1 came out, I was like, man, if you give me this game but with Transformers, Star Wars, or Marvel. Marvel came out with Marvel's Avengers, was pretty close, but they fucked it up. Okay? We don't have that Star Wars game, and now I'm waiting for that Transformers game. Didn't you get the memo? Transformers Reactivate racing is the future. Oh god, that fucking game. That game. All right, let's go to another game that came out last year that some people liked and had fun with, okay? Which was Exoprimal. Okay? Capcom came out with Exoprimal last year. We played it. We put up, I want to say, about 20 to 30 hours in the game. I liked it. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think the loop was too good. I thought it was interesting when they did what they were doing as far as play, go back, story content, play. But the problem with that game when it came out is everything was too similar. I didn't go far enough. I know Mo played a lot more and said it opened up more as you went in. But the amount of time that I put in, the missions just kept the same, right? Doing the same thing, go to the same place. Okay, I thought it was interesting, but from the very start, I said that's going to be a flash in the pan type of thing. So, if you like what I do here, we read news stories, have conversations with live chat. Live chat is 100% part of the show. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. All right, so after a year of competitive dino survival, Capcom ends its new updates for Exoprimal. Though it sounds impossible, the mix of mech suits and dino fights didn't find a large enough audience to justify continued development. Okay, like how do you not take robots and dinosaurs and succeed? Amazing. Okay, it says it's a sad day in humanity, endless culture war against the large lizards. Exoprimal, Capcom's competitive action game that pits two teams of anime mech suits in a race to see who can fight dinosaurs fastest, has gotten its last new update just a year after its release. Capcom announced today that the plan for Exoprimal seasonal content has been finished, and the conclusion for Exoprimal Season 4 on July 11th will mark the end of the ongoing content development. Obviously, what that means is that they put it out there, and they were going to make way more content, but people didn't engage with the content that was being put out there. So they were like, all right, that's it. Let's cut our losses, and that's what they're doing. Suicide Squad did the exact same thing, just on a exponentially faster scale. Okay, so while Exoprimal won't be getting any new seasonal update, Capcom says all online services will continue to be available, and all the game modes will remain playable once Season 4 ends. Exoprimal will start cycling monthly through old seasons, beginning with Season 1. Likewise, former limited-time endgame missions and collaboration events will also return on a weekly rotation. Alongside today's new content announcement, Capcom released a full breakdown of the monthly seasons and weekly event rotations. It has charts. Somewhat confusing. While players will still be able to purchase and progress through the premium reward track for each season's survival pass, they'll only be able to do so during the months where their respective seasons is active. That's kind of weird. Here's why I think they're doing that. I think they're going to do what Division, Ubisoft has done with Division 2, where they kind of like stopped making stuff and they just kind of went in a holding pattern, and then they decided to go back and start making content again and then they did the seasons thing again, and now they're changing it yet again. But they're like, we're not shutting down the game, we're just stopping updates for the game. So we're going to leave it here and we're going to pretend that it's going fine. They're going to see if there's a uptick, more people playing the game and doing stuff, and then if so, they'll be like, hey, we're we're turning the switch back on. We're gonna make more content down the road. That is kind of stupid though, for because you can only level the season. The game is done. It's being unsupported as far as upcoming events and stuff. So it's kind of weird. So for example, if Survival Pass Season 2 Premium Tier is purchased in July, you can only be used in April, August, or December. That's very, very strange. Okay. Seems a little clunky, but it's nice that the players will have the opportunity to earn rewards that might missed out on premium passes that they also bought in earlier seasons. Capcom says that it's also releasing a discounted bundle for all 4 premium season passes. Two, for those of you who might decide now is the best time to go all in on the Exoprimal despite available evidence. Okay. Aside from a few spikes following sales and updates, Exoprimal concurrent player counts hover below 200 for most of the players since the release of July 2023. But hey, Capcom says there's still be still be bots to fill out the teams if necessary. So at least your games won't technically be empty. Because I appreciate observing Exoprimal's concept as a kind of spiritual throwback to the days of when major publishers were putting out lots of more weird middleware, but it's also admitted that the enthusiasm for the idea dropped once they tried the pre-release beta and realized Exoprimal game mode was competitive rather than co-op / PvE, which I talked about when a game came out. I said this game's gonna fail because of the PvP. They should have 100% made it PvE. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a small YouTuber that's been playing games literally 43 years of my life. I hope for where I might casually fight waves of dinosaurs and mech suit friends. It seems like that a common feeling based on replies to Exoprimal fans mourning the announcement of end of updates. Okay. It's sad to see Exoprimal join the ranks of multiplayer-centric games ending ongoing development, but it's at least it remains playable for the foreseeable future, and the Exoprimal left you with the lasting taste of how Capcom and how dinosaur fights were they also Monster Hunter. What was that other game? Second Extinction that came out? I think that had a better following than Exoprimal. Second Extinction was a game that came out that was a team of 3 going against environment, and that seemed like a pretty good game. You had different characters, upgraded your weapons, upgraded your characters, went up against different dinosaurs, a T-Rex, Triceratops, and whatnot. That was actually a pretty fun game. This game, I'm telling you, think about this. What if Exoprimal was exactly what the first Descendant was? That would be a pretty cool game, wouldn't it? Right? You're doing think about the first Descendant right now, as is, and you're doing what you did in Exoprimal with those suits. And you're just leveling up your characters, each of your characters. But, in a world like the first Descendant, that would be more a successful game than what the game is today. Okay? It's just waves and waves and waves and waves of these dinosaurs. And it got boring really fast. And it was just competitive. And it was the exact same thing all the time. You're like, oh, you're ahead, you're behind, you're ahead, you're behind. It got old real fast. The only reason I was playing was to try to get through the story. But I couldn't even do that myself. So let me know what you guys think. Are you sad that they're stopping Exoprimal? Did you even know Exoprimal was a game that you were playing? Because it was out for the last year. If you played it, let me know what you thought about it in the comments section down below or in the live stream. And what do you think about them continuing, not supporting the game, but leaving it up, but only letting you play the season passes during the certain times? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. And if you like what I do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. The coolest part about being a dino was wrecking everyone. Oh, yeah. I played for like 10 hours and then never again. Capcom needs to bring back Dino Crisis. I love that game back in the day. Yeah, they actually said they were making Dino Crisis, didn't they? Rotating Battle Pass seems like a coding issue. It just feels like they could have just opened it up for everybody, right? They're not supporting it anymore. Just let people buy it and unlock it at their own pace. Yeah, it was in game preview. I think it actually launched. Yeah, it came out October 13th, 2020, initial release date. Let's see. In October of 2023, it was announced that the full launch was canceled due to the lack of necessary resources to leave early access, that the game would also be removed from sale, and the early access servers would be also shut down in 2024, making the game unplayable to those who purchased it. Gotta love it. Another reason not to buy a game, day and date. Preview, early access, beta, alpha, Charlie, Delta. It was a fun game. It was a fun game. Outside the story, Exo Primo, there wasn't much there to keep in the playing. Just seeing that who could complete the objectives the fastest. That's it. Yeah, it got boring really fast. I thought the way they did the campaign type of stuff, Jax, I thought was interesting. Ghostbusters, Spirits Unleashed does this, right? Where you can, it's a multiplayer game. It's a 4v1 game like Evolved. Okay, like Crowded loves. Okay, and then you're either the ghost or you're the Ghostbuster, and as you level up pretty fast. But every 2 levels or 3 levels, you would then go back to the firehouse, and then it would continue the story for you. It would give you a cutscene, give you some information, and then you would do some more and go up the levels. It's actually a pretty fun game. That's how Exo Primal. Now, yes, it's PvP, but you could also do solo by yourself. You don't have to go in with anybody. You can go against all NPCs. That's what Exo Primal should have been. I tried the Exo Primal beta. Wasn't my cup of tea. I liked it, but I wanted to play with friends. Fell off because I had my first kid. Well, that'll always do it to you, Jones. Wasn't Exo Primal? I don't think I paid for anything. Wasn't on Game Pass? Well, it was on Game Pass, but I'm not sure how much they charged. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, it's on Game Pass. And then if you buy it on Windows, Standard Edition... Same. What are we talking about? Can I not look at the pricing? Seriously? They put Mega Man in the game? I didn't even know that. Jones says $70. $60. $60 on PlayStation 4 and 5. And then you have to get the subscribe to PlayStation Plus Premium to play 0.5 hour full game trial. Oh, you get to play the trial. PS Plus required for online play, so you have to pay monthly for that game as well. I would assume if you at Xbox, it's the same if you didn't play it on Game Pass. I don't know why you would do that. I don't know why you would buy the game and then buy the low tier of Game Pass to get internet when you can just play on Game Pass for 1 month and try it. You know what I mean? That makes no sense. If Evolve came out today and didn't charge $60, it would probably be a hit. I don't think it would be. I think it would be the exact same as like Ghostbusters. Has a group of fans. It's a game that exists, but I don't think it would be a massive success. Oh, he says Evolve is trash. Salty said Evolve had its time. Very short time. Right. Exactly, Jones. I think it would be here. I just don't think it would be a massive hit. beat the vault balls to open up, but it's not showing up in the sphere. Does anyone know why? I do not, Eclipse. Frog has been boiled. The business model would fly now if free to play. Right. I think if Evolve came out now, it would charge like $40 or free to play. It'll be very interesting in the next couple of months because Marvel's Marvel Rivals comes out. Yeah, Marvel Rivals coming out. Right? You have the first Descendant out. There's another game coming out. Transformers could be coming out late this year, early next year. There's got a lot of games that feel the same type of style of game. You know what I mean? Like the looters, the competitive type of stuff. You have X Defiant. You have all of these games. It's going to be interesting to see what jockeys position for the masses of the game. I just noticed that bugs me. I see that. I see my fan in the corner there, and I don't want to see that. Give me a sec. There we go. All right, Concord's another one. I don't think that's going to be a very popular game. I don't think that's going to be a very popular game at all. You think Concord's going to be a hit like X Defiant? I don't know, man. Like look at the mechs and stuff that they had in Exo Primal, right? Good design. They look cool. You know what I mean? Weapons look cool. Right? They did a good job. I just don't think that style of game makes it. Basically, the more companies Microsoft buys, the price of Game Pass increases. I mean, that's usually how value works. It's not about the companies they buy. It's about the value of what they put on Game Pass. If they're gonna put an additional 50 games, right? Oh, like 50 old games on the Game Pass where you can play it, right? You don't have to get Ultimate to get day and date. There's 400 games on Game Pass, right? And you're playing those. That's value for the people that want that. If you're looking for day and date and they come out with 5-10 games a year, third party, first party, where you can play a day and date on Game Pass, that's a good value. 4 games. That's all you have to pay for. Right? If you're a person that plays more than 4 games a year, Game Pass is worth it. PlayStation Plus would be worth it. Right? The only difference with PlayStation Plus and Game Pass is the day and date. 4 games. That's it. Concord feels like Battleborn. So many games in the same genre. Yeah, it's amazing to me how it's all going to happen, and what they're not going to have a big pool. They're going to have a big influx of people try it, and then they're going to leave and go back to their game that they came from. And you might have some people stick around and play that game. I don't see it being very. I'm not saying it's going to close down like month 2. I just don't think you're going to have a big following there. X Defiant was free to play. Target was COD players. Concord's target player base. Yeah, I don't know. Destiny. Right? That's what it is. Destiny players that are tired of Destiny and they want to move on to something else and only play PvP. And they're doing the same model of storytelling as Exoprimal. Right? Like every so amount of days or so, every week, there's like a new story type of thing that's happening. All games should be free, but I don't understand, Ron. Are you talking about like Game Pass? Game Pass is not free though. If that's what you're making the comment for, or you're just saying like all games should be free. If all games were free, then you would have ads in your games, which will happen. Oh, I know, Paul. I'm just saying the guys that would try it are the people that would do the Crucible type of stuff. Unless they buy their favorite streamers to play for months. All I know is the streamers can make people move into the game. Sure. As a Destiny player, Concord looks like a Destiny mobile. Aren't they making Destiny mobile? I think you should just subscribe when the game drops, because really games and dropping on Xbox. They've also had one big game, Hellboy 2 in the game. Didn't do that well. I just think there's... The finals is also fun for game to dabble in. Right, but that's also not doing very good as well right now either. Right? Had a huge influx. I'm pretty sure like they've dropped off. They've been pretty consistent. They got 12,506 people playing right now. But they had an all-time peak of 242,000. Right? And that's exactly... Here, I'll bring it up on screen. Right? That's exactly what's going to happen with a lot of these games. Like Concord will come in, it'll be like, bam, brand new game, and then all of a sudden, and then die off. You know what I mean? And then it'll find its core group, and then update, bam, and then it comes back. People come back to see what it is, and it goes back to this. So that's exactly what Concord will do, right? Concord and any other game that comes out, it'll influx of people because they want to see what's new, and they'll be like, not for me, and then it'll flatten out. Marvel Rivals is free too, right? Overwatch, but now we got Marvel's Rivals coming too. That's crazy. Fortnite has a stranglehold on free-to-play market. I think Fortnite though has that. Don't get me wrong. There's adults and stuff, young adults that still play Fortnite, like VR. But the majority of it's younger kids. And now they're getting older. So they're trying to make games that look what they're interested in, right? They're going to graduate from Fortnite because it's not like it's Minecraft, right? They're going to move from Fortnite to another game, but they'll still dabble into Fortnite. But they're trying to grasp that market, right? They're trying to take those 10-year-olds and 13-year-olds that are now 17, 18-year-olds and see if they can grab them into their game. There's always a new wave coming in. There's always the 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds that are now playing Fortnite until they're 12 or 13. Problem with free-to-play games is they rely on people spending money on things that have no value. When things do have value, it creeps on potential pay to win. There's so many games, and players only have a certain amount of time. We talked about that so many times, Kurt. So many times. I love Minecraft. Zinthos, I've said it multiple times. Minecraft to me is one of the greatest games ever created. I mean that. One of the greatest games ever created. From what it was created from Notch by himself to what it's turned into, it's one of the greatest games ever made. And I like what you can do in the game, what the community has done in the game, what it's evolved from, what it's done. It's one of the greatest games ever created. I've been playing since 2009. Okay, that game. Off and on. I used to love that game. Still play with my son. One of my favorite games to play. I love building in it, right? I love adventuring in it, right? Me and Sarge play it every once in a while, right? It's just something that is what gaming is about. Like, what Minecraft is and represents is what gaming should be, right? It's such an easy game to pick up, yet a complicated game if you dive into it, yet it's a super fun game to play with your friends and solo. There's so much to do. It's like you can build and create, right? It's amazing. It's an amazing game. You know, Paul, I would have to say, it's almost the perfect game. I never played Roadblocks. I know what it is. I have nephews and stuff that play it. It just never clicked with me. I look at Minecraft, I'm just like, it's just a better game. I don't like... Roadblocks reminds me a lot of Second Life. What Second Life was, but Second Life was just better looking than what Roadblocks is. But what Roadblocks is doing is exactly what Second Life did. The different like rooms and the different things, you can create stuff. That's what it reminds me of. What's the creator doing now? Probably loving life or hating life. I don't know. He's probably miserable, but super rich. Where before he was miserable and didn't like his job, and that's why he made Minecraft. But now he's miserable, and I don't know if he's miserable. Yeah, he was broke before, and now he's a billionaire. He owns a ridiculous size house and does whatever he wants. I think of screaming children with Roadblocks. Oh yeah, Roblox is very successful. Very successful. Is he making another game? I think he got paid $2.4 billion or something like that. Yeah, 2.5. 2.5 billion. Jesus. I think I would break down and cry. You created something and then someone paid you $2 billion for it. Would wipe my tears with $1,000 bills. $2.5 billion for a silly game, right? Think about this, right? He created Minecraft, and I paid $4 for it. $4 when it came out, when he first released it. Right? I paid $4 for Minecraft to help him out back in 2008, 2009. Okay? And I played it like like a fiend. And I was introduced it to a person that worked with me. He brought his son in and started talking about video games. And the guy I worked with didn't care anything about video games. And he started talking to me about video games. And I was like, oh, I love video games. And he started talking to me. And he's like, you should try Minecraft. And I'm like, what's Minecraft? And he's like, oh, it's this game where you can create things. And then you have to get in. Yeah. When it goes day to night, like creatures come out and they start attacking you. So you have to build stuff. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. And it was only spiders, I think, at the time. I don't think there was creepers or anything at that moment. And I was like, well, where do I get this? He's like, oh, you got to get Java or whatever. And I was like, okay. And I looked it up and downloaded it. It was like $4. I was like, why not? And I was like, this game's amazing. Amazing then. Now it's a completely different beast. He got half of what Lucas got for Star Wars. Imagine that. Lucas sold Star Wars for 4.2. He got 2.5 for Minecraft. Oh, that's another thing. I love how people think that Microsoft's in trouble in gaming. They could literally close down every other studio and just live off of Minecraft. They could just make, they could call Game Pass Minecraft Pass and they would be fine. Copies sold. Okay. Minecraft revenue in year 2014 is marked as the worst time Minecraft game because revenue dropped 165 million in global annual revenue. But a few years later, Minecraft generated $380 million. In 2021, it made 380. 2020 made 415. 2018, it made 500 million. Copies sold, 238 million copies. In 2016, it sold 100 million copies just in that year. Then it sold 22 million copies in 2017. Then another 22 million copies in 2018. Then 32 million in 2019. Then 24 million in 2020. Then 38 million in 2021. And then it doesn't show after 2022 and 2023, 2020. It stops there. Yeah, that's crazy. I want to look up something. Yeah. Minecraft is the #1 selling game of all time. Minecraft's got over 300 million copies sold. Grand Theft Auto 5 has got 200 million. And Tetris is at 100 million. Wii Sports is at 82 million. That's copies sold for Minecraft. That's not including all the microtransactions they charge, which are actually microtransactions. Jesus Christ. Mario Kart Deluxe is at 70 million. Woo. Maybe Transformers wants that a little bit of that market, huh? Transformers kart racing game coming in wants a little bit of that market. I'm sorry. Humans Fall Flat has sold 50 million units? What the? You guys played Humans Fall Flat? You want to see me rage? That game does it. My son loves playing that game with me because he loves seeing me getting so frustrated. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. Look how many games of all time on this list are from Nintendo. It's crazy. And then you have Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption 2 at 2 and 7. Rockstar knows what to do. They had that recipe, baby. Like, you just think about, like, Diablo 3 has sold 30 million units. 30 million. That's crazy. That's Call of Duty numbers, right? That's the only Call of Duty up here. Call of Duty Modern Warfare, 30 million, which is just, like, crazy. And then Diablo, another 30 million. Think about this number. Duck Hunt, 28 million. Back then. This is why Nintendo can never, like, they could bomb for the rest of their lives, right? Duck Hunt from 1984 sold 28.3 million units. Between Call of Duty, okay, Call of Duty and Minecraft, Microsoft can close down every studio. They could be like, you know what? Just, we're laying everybody off, and we're just making Minecraft and Call of Duty from now on. Thank you very much. Duck Hunt came out in 84, yeah. Kurt says, make a game done right can make money. Yeah, make a game, sell a game. That's it. Imagine imagine putting all these high-end graphics and stuff, and your game sells 1 million copies, and someone comes out with Humans Fall Flat, and that shit sells 50 million units. You just gotta look at yourself as a designer and go, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I have similar feelings because I make content every day, right? I'm not saying I'm a great content creator in any way, shape, or form, but I'm consistent. I make content, and then I'll watch someone that has a shitty microphone, shitty lighting. They do absolutely nothing. They're not entertaining, and they have 10 times, 100 times more viewers and stuff than me, and I'm like amazed by it. Just what it is. Just what it is. Look up Tetris. Yeah, Tetris is up here at 100 million for the EA version. And then the Tetris down here for Game Boy is at 48. And then there's another Tetris, I believe. Tetris Total. I think Total is up there. It's at like 500. Isn't it 500 or something like that? Just say. Yeah, 520 million. According to the official Tetris website, the iconic puzzle game has exceeded 520 million in sales over lifetime. Here it says, though, Minecraft is the highest selling game of all time behind Tetris. It's weird that they don't put Tetris on that list that we looked at. That's crazy. Blocks Falling has sold an additional 240 million units more than Minecraft. Insane. Insane. Isn't there a story about the guy who created Tetris, sold it for a really low sum, and then the company made billions off of him? Everybody should watch the Tetris movie. It's good. Is it a movie based on the story of the guy who created Tetris? Wasn't it like a Russian scientist that came up with it? See, Tetris, the puzzle video game created in 1985. Soviet software engineer. Published several companies, more than 65 platforms, setting a Guinness Book of World Record most ported game. After a significant period of publication by Nintendo in 1996, the rights reverted to him, who co-founded the Tetris company. Oh, that's good. So in Tetris, players completed lines by moving different shapes. Okay, so Tetris is often named one of the greatest video games. By December of 2011, it sold 202 million. Approximately 70 million physical units and 132 million paid mobile game downloads, making it one of the best-selling video games in franchise history. The Game Boy version is one of the best-selling games of all time, with more than 35 million copies sold. Yeah. Game pieces, scoring, Infinite Game Quest. Before we're trying to recreate the favorite puzzle game from my childhood, featuring, okay, imagine a game consisting of a distant amount of random. Okay, because of 60 had no graphical interface. Kovanov completed a very playable version of Tetris in 1985. Acquired by Microsoft, Spectrum, Hylobyte. What did they pay for it? Acquisition of rights by Microsoft and Spectrum. It's on everything. Tetris platforms include Amiga, Atari, Spectrum, Commodore. Acquisition of rights by Nintendo and legal battle. You could play it. I remember on the 5th generation iPod in 2006, you could play Tetris. That's crazy. Imagine just making a game like that and it just blows up. Right. The guy who made G.I. Joe just got a lump sum. I'm a diamond in the rough. I'll shine one day. I'm fine. I'm fine. I like doing what I'm doing. I know I'm ahead of the curve. I've been doing the exact same thing for about 7 years. I do what I do here. I've been doing it. Other people have come and gone. Other people have done the same thing as me. Other people have come and done the same thing and done better than me. But I stick to what I want to do. My problem is I don't like doing what the meta is. I never like doing the meta. Even when the meta in video games is the meta, I don't like doing the meta. I've always been... So the YouTube meta, or the Twitch meta at the time, and then the Mixer meta at the time, I've always stayed to what I do. And I said, as long as I do what I do, and people will start understanding what I do. This is why I've always preached that I'm not an Xbox guy. I'm not a PlayStation guy. I'm just a gamer, right? I wanted to always, this is what it's always been, right? Is that you're coming to my house, right? And you're just chilling with me and we're having conversations, right? That's it. Right? Just pass the time, shooting the shit. If we were at work together, I would just talk bullshit all the time. We just talk about stuff. Hey, did you see this? You know, sports. You see that? That's it. See this movie, see this show, see this game, you play this game, did you see this? Right? What we do here. That's exactly what I want you to do, Hilly. Right? I'm trying to be entertaining, but I'm not trying to be entertaining like I'm not dance monkey. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get anyone upset for the day. All right, what was the third story we got? We had the third story was Helldivers. Yeah, shooting the shit with Sarge. We're always shooting stuff. I was like, so why not shoot stuff and talk, which we do. And I was like, I'll just come up with a segment called Shooting the Shit. We had a conversation. me and my best friend when we were on vacation. I forget what we were talking about. We had a great debate back in the day, right? When we were roommates back in the day, right? His girlfriend, who's his wife now, my girlfriend, who's my wife at the time now, we were all together and we were talking about the fan, how it spins, how there's a winter mode and a summer mode. You know what I mean? Right? This might bring up, maybe someone doesn't know this, right? But there's a switch on the fan that takes the air and shoves it down. And then there's hit the button where it spins and it sucks it up and then pushes it on the outer edge, right? It goes the opposite direction and spreads it. And me and my best friend, we would have this conversation. We're not arguing, but we get passionate and we're like, I'm like, no. I was like, summertime is this, wintertime is this, because you want to take the heat rises and you want to spread it out farther out the room, right? See, Sarge, he's like, no, bro, right? And we had this conversation and it was fucking hilarious, right? So we had something, I forget what it is now. Me and him just playing around in the front seat. He's driving, I'm in the front seat, and we have this conversation. We keep going back and forth. I forget what it was now. But his wife and my wife are like, no, just like Sarge is right now. Not this fucking conversation. That's it. That's basically what my stream is. It's just about having conversation, and it could be super fun or super fucking stupid, whatever it is. It's just having fun. Mo says, boot on next season is full effect. You build it, they will come. Game Pass. Yeah, that's all bullshit. I tried it and it doesn't work dirty. What? The fan? Oh, for God's sakes. Summertime, you want it to pull the air and push it down when you're sitting underneath it and stuff like that. Wintertime, you want it to go the opposite direction, so it takes the heat and it starts to spread it to warm up the house. I love how Sarge comes in. That fucking conversation again? No, bro. No. Stop it. We'll have this conversation instead. We'll have this conversation. Yeah, ceiling fans. Ceiling fans. Regular fans don't go backwards. Like shop fans, they don't reverse. They only go one direction. Like a box fan or something like that, that doesn't go backwards. That only goes one way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you want it to, during the summer, you want it to push down. 100%. Right. Right. So all you do with the box fan is if you we were doing it now, right? So I had a fan when we had no AC. I would put the fan by the window. Instead of pushing towards me, it would go out the window. So it was taking the heat and sucking it out the house and pushing it out. Yeah. That's what we have for like the chicken houses and stuff, right? You have air coming in from one side and then getting sucked out the other. So it gives them a airflow. All right, let's look at this. We talked about this. Actually, I want to know, when did I talk about this? Did I talk about this? Upload. We talked about it. Rapid decline 1 month ago. What was the date of this? What was the date? Do we know the date? May 26th. So a month and a half ago, we talked about the rapid decline of Helldivers 2 player base. Okay. So here we are today, July 10th. Okay, a month and a half ago. I don't need the box fan when I got Huck 2. Did you see that this girl's making millions of dollars? Before I start this, did you see that girl? Because of that one comment, she's gotten flown around the world. She's been at like rock concerts. They paid her for sponsorships. Like, what the fuck do I got to do? Like, what is happening? I just got to go get interviewed and go, right? Talk. And we all know what that means. Okay? Just spit on it. You know what I'm saying? But what in the hell is happening on planet Earth? She's hot, B, because you know what she does. That's all. That's what we call female privilege. Right. I gotta be a hot girl and say the right thing. I gotta learn how to I gotta learn how to monetize being a sarcastic prick. That's what I gotta market. We do live in a woman's world. Yeah, it's freaking amazing. The girl that went viral on the airplane. I don't know what that is, but he's not real. She gets fucking millions. She goes viral. People have done it. 30. Look at Asmongold. That's true. That's true. That's true. Be a sarcastic prick as a viral e-girl. All right, so let's read this. All right, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to noon Eastern. I read news stories, have conversations with live chat. If you'd like to be a part of it, come on by. These are little breakout videos that I do. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. So about a month and a half ago, we talked about the decline of Helldivers 2, and people said, you know, it's over for the company. And I said, no, it's just what happens. But here's an update. A month and a half later, Helldivers 2 has now lost 97% of its players as it hits the lowest point ever. Okay, article comes from Video Gamer. Okay, every game goes through the highs and low points, and Helldivers 2 is no exception after experiencing a meteoric rise. Peak at 70 times the amount of players that the first title saw. The game has been a major decline as players leave to play other games, and which is expected for any other game, both single and multiplayer. According to Steam's DB, Helldivers 2 hit its lowest player count ever on July 9th, going down to just 12,944 concurrent players on Steam, and at its peak, the game saw 458,709 players, not including PlayStation 5 gamers. At the time of writing this, Helldivers 2 is currently 44th on the Steam charts, being beaten out by games such as Red Dead Redemption, Left 4 Dead 2, and even Overwatch 2. Although it's edging out the titles such as Cyberpunk 2077 in concurrent players still, very few games can maintain their large player count long-term, and even top established titles such as Fortnite have seen in shares of ups and downs. Despite seeing the major dips in the player, it doesn't appear that Arrowhead Game Studios is too worried about it. Why would they be? Why would they be when they thought they were only going to have 100,000, 10,000, 20,000 people? You know what I mean? And they got 70 times than what they got the first one. Okay? Like, obviously, they're not worried because they already made the money. They already made the money. The people that bought the game, they bought the game. So if they sold 12 million units, like they said a month and a half ago, they sold 12 million units at the $40, at $60, whatever. If you bought the extended, the bigger version of it, right, with the cosmetics, right? Then the people that paid for the actual season pass or the cosmetic stuff, like it boggles my mind that people think that you constantly have to do this. They made their money. They could literally shut down the game today and go on to make the next game and the next game and the next game. Pow World, okay, they made so much money. There was an article that they said, we have so much money, we don't know what to do with it as a company because they sold so many games and the company can go do what they want now. That's what Helldivers, what Arrowhead Games has done with Helldivers 2. Okay, it says it takes one major update, such as the upcoming rival of the Illuminate, to bring hundreds of thousands of players back to the game. Now, Pow World, hey, look at that. A developer encouraged players to play different games while waiting for the next update, saying if you're still playing Pow World, we love you. If you're no longer playing Pow World, we still love you. And if you hope it will come back for round 2 when you're ready. Play lots of games, try different genres, and flick through the indie libraries for find hidden gems. And when the summer update was released last month, it brought back millions of players back, and it's still seeing 100,000 concurrent players on Steam alone. Okay, Helldivers 2 is currently seeing a lull in the content in a minute, but the developers are on summer vacation, so we can expect to see a new content come to the game over the next few weeks throughout the rest of the summer. It doesn't mean that this isn't anything that to do, though, as players recently unlocked the Commando rocket launcher by completing the latest major order to figure out what the player to take the automatons and the Terrament is the next mission. Highly recommend checking out Helldivers 2's best weapon. Like, we read these stories to just bring them up and talk about it, but it doesn't matter if they lost 97% of the player base. It doesn't. Again, they sold a crap ton of copies. They weren't expecting to be selling that many copies. They weren't expecting the concurrent player base to hit 400, almost 500,000 people. Okay, it was 458,000 at its peak. Okay, you're never going to maintain this. The best games in the world. Okay, single player games go high and then they go because people beat it and move on. Multiplayer games, people beat it or play it, get tired of it, doing the same thing, and then they lean off, or they go play other things. This is nature. This is what happens. It doesn't matter if it's a single player game. It doesn't matter if it's a multiplayer game. You're never going to make a game where it's just constant. Even World of Warcraft, The max, there was like 30 million people playing concurrent or whatever at some points, right? But it goes down, it goes up, and they settle around 200, 300, right? 1,000 people per day, right? For years. And that's fantastic. These games don't need hundreds of thousands to millions of people concurrently playing on the game at the same time. Okay? They don't. They've already made the money off of you. And again, if people stop buying the cosmetics or stop buying the season passes or stop buying whatever the medals and stuff in that game, they're good. Sony made their money. Arrowhead Games made their money, right? And they're good. There's no need to be like, oh, the sky's falling. Helldivers is struggling. Sony doesn't know what they're doing. Like none of that is true. Sony's like, this is a hit. We need to look at what other games we can make just like Helldivers too. Arrowhead Games like, this is a hit. Now we can make other games that we want to make because of this. Okay? And that's the real thing. So this obviously, I would say, is like not a clickbait title, but just in general, it's okay for a game to lose its player base. Even Suicide Squad that we talked about in the first story, okay, where the player base is non-existent. There's 200 people playing the game over on Steam or whatnot. Okay, or less than that, I believe. They made their money. Now, obviously, they didn't make their money back, but they made their money. It would be a different story if they sold, 7 million copies and then it bombed because they already made their money. They probably subsidized their money because a lot of people probably paid cosmetics along the way for that game as well. But again, this is not news. Anytime you see or we cover where a game changed name, lost percentage of player base, if it's not a free-to-play game, it's a game that you actually paid, it doesn't matter. Especially with games like Pal World or Helldivers 2 or any other game that you paid $40, $50, $60, $70 for. They made their money, and they're very happy with it. So here's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about Helldivers losing the player base. Can they get the player base back? Yeah, for a couple days, and then it'll drop back down because they want to check out what's going on in the game and what's new. But you're never going to have that moment that you had because first impressions are everything, okay? And there's so many games for people to play. It's impossible for everyone to continuously play one game for that long over time. Again, these are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Helldivers, great game, just not enough time for people to get moving on to the next thing. Yeah, next big thing will be a guy saying you gotta blah, 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 blah on the thing. Yeah, she claimed that she saw a reptilian guy, but was not drunk. Right, and then she got paid. It's a simple internet is mainly stupid and like stupid shit. They already got the money and millions of others. Yeah. They get Sony and Arrowhead Games is very happy. Now, obviously, they still want to make more money because if they can continue making money on a game that's already made its money back, then it's all golden, baby. Keep going, okay? It's all golden. Sure, they're still paying the developers, right? But the game, if it costs, let's just say the game cost $10 million to make. Right? Let's just say it cost $10 million to make over the last 3 years. Well, they made all that money back, and now if they want to maintain that game for the next 3 years, it would cost them $10 million. Well, guess what? They've already covered that as well. Gene says, I can count on one hand how many live service games keep their player count. Helldivers lasted a good 4 months or so. Huge, yeah. Salty says their bank account is fine. Power World has also died faster than Helldivers 2. They still have 100,000 people playing, I believe. I wouldn't say that's smaller. They have 71,000 people, but they also had 2.1 million people concurrent playing that game at one time. That's insane. As 13 minutes ago, there's 71,000. Okay, 71,000. Redfall is like 3 people. Yeah, let's see what Yeah, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League has 373 people. Obviously, it's just Steam. Just Steam. To be honest, they are the worst at making a live service game, and yet they sold millions. But they can sustain people who start to nerf everything as if they competitive game. There are so many things that went against Helldivers 2, right? Helldivers 2 started nerfing weapons, right? And I said I have a video saying don't ever nerf in a PvE game, okay? And then someone comes to my comment section, you guys don't know what you're talking about. You have to nerf. It's a PvE game. Why do you have to nerf? Anyway. Then you had the debacle of the sign-in process of Sony, where you had to have a PlayStation account. And that literally, that is having a party at your house, and your parents came home and said, okay, break it up. And they're like, no, you can still have a party. And everyone at the party's like, yeah, well, I'm not partying with your parents here. Okay? That's what that happened there, right? They completely ruined the party. I hear that the main concern, shit's getting nerfed and nothing to do. And there's me that works more than I game, and I have loads to do. I'm not complaining. I think one of the issues with Helldivers was that so many bite-sized passes every other month. I said that in the very beginning. I said, let's check back in November. How many passes are there, and if people are overwhelmed by it. Should be holding the drops for bigger updates, in my opinion, 90 days minimum. My point is huge drop off of Pal World. Not literally dead like Redfall. Gotcha. 374 when Mike joins, when the season drops to 375 when I re-download it. That's exactly right. Yeah, the party is over. They're like, hey, kids, we want to party with you. You're like, kids looking at you like, Dad, come on. Like, what? What? I'm not the cool dad. I'm letting you drink. Get out of here. Drop-offs are all relative. Helldivers had an assistant. Okay? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, Jones? Like, sure, the natural drop-off of Helldivers would have been more gradual over time. I truly believe, right, if we go back, right, Helldivers was doing phenomenal. And then they opened their mouth. And they completely ruined it. Hold on, where is it? You can see the blip. Right? You can see the blip. But like, it was fine. When did it happen? It happened... What was the day? Was it in May? It was 3 months, right? February, March, April. Yeah, it was in like May. Like this was the drop right here. And then they helped push it off. This line, I think, would have been over here before we started seeing a little bit of decline. But it just fell off the face of the earth for them. Which again is not a bad thing. They made their money, right? They made their money. I guess this would be considered like the 15 minutes of fame for the Hawk 2 girl, right? Helldivers made its money, and you got to ride it out as long as you can. Sure, it'll go back up. Look, there's a lot of games coming out, and I'm not going to be playing a lot of the new games because I'm playing the games that I'm playing now. I just don't have enough time. I'm really enjoying Fallout 76. Right, Kurt. Right? It's like that would be a fantastic, like, if it was a one and done game, I think people would love to play it and put it down. But because it's constantly going, which is it's a really good live service game, people are just kind of over it, right? You can only do the same thing so many times before you're like, I think I'm gonna go try something else. Yeah, when they added, this part right here, where they added the next class, it went from 49,000 and it went back up to 91,000, which was the point of. Here's the interesting part. This is just my observation here, right? So look at this. It was 119,000, and then it went down to 80,000, went back up to 97, and then it's never hit back up. It stayed around the 90 to 80. So they lost 20,000 people that are probably never going to come back to the game because it kept going down and down and down and down and down. And then when it went back up, it went from 49, almost 50,000, boom, went up to 91,000. Okay? And that's the same people that were here that stayed with it after the whole debacle with Sony and whatnot. And then it quickly dropped off. And went back. And this is where it'll live. It will live in the 20 to 30,000, which is fantastic. I'll be honest with you. If I could have 20 to 30,000 people tuning into my game or my stream, fucking A, right? If you could have 20 to 30,000 people concurrent, and that's not including on the PlayStation 5, okay? They're fine. This is the core player base right here. Right? 20 to 30,000 is where it'll be. And then every time they come out with something new or someone comes and checks it out and it gets a little buzz, it will uptick to about the 80 to 90,000 again. How long do you think? I would say give her another couple weeks and then she'll be done. You got to go through the T-shirt sales, the bumper sticker sales. You know, you got to get through all that stuff first. No matter what they add, for normal game reasons, having them to open up their mouth because of Sony and Sony's actions through them, it hurt them. It did hurt them. I think the Starship Trooper game will do good, but it's not going to do anywhere near what the numbers of Helldivers. I mean, you can play it right now, right? Starship Troopers. Let me see. Yeah, Starship Troopers. This is what it is right now in early access, right? 624. The last 7 days. The most it ever had was 16,000. But that's not out yet. And then it's also coming to console. Messed up that Sony doesn't have the game in other countries, but I bought the game and then enjoyed it, and I quit. Hell yeah, America. I think Starship Troopers will flop because of Helldivers. Yeah, it probably will. And that's the business, right? Something came out that was similar to your game, and they did it better than you. I think I'll be honest. I kind of like Starship Troopers of the model that it is, the structure of it, a little bit more because there's more people. I would love if Helldivers had more people on the map. You put like 8 to 10. That would be cool for Helldivers. I hopefully down the road they do something like that. I think that would be neat. Yeah, they're getting the campaign with Rico. The weird part about the Starship Troopers and Helldivers is that Sony owns both IPs. Sony owns the rights to Starship Troopers. And they own the Helldivers. I think Concord will do better than people are assuming it will. I think it will do good in the beginning and then fall off dramatically. And then it'll just be that other PvP game that's out there. There's so many games out there that you can play between Valorant, CSGO, what's the other one? There's the Finals, Apex, right? There's so many games that are so similar. I think Concord just takes a back seat. Sure. I don't think it's dead on arrival. I just don't think it's gonna hit the numbers that they want it to hit. World says it's gonna end up as the same spot as Foam Stars. What's Foam Stars doing right now? I don't even know. Is Foam Stars in trouble? You look up the player count? Well, 3 months ago, Foam Stars has lost nearly 95% of its player base, according to Reddit. That was of April. Paul says it'll only do good because PlayStation fanboys will overlook how generic it is. Concord could be a Creature's game. Is Creature like that? I know Creature likes PlayStation. I don't know if he likes those types of games, though. I think if Concord wasn't a hero shooter and it was more like a, I don't want to say like a Destiny, but I feel like if it was a more of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a Division, I guess. I guess more story based than more PvP based. I'm not sure when the beta is. I wonder how Starship Troopers devs feel. I mean, they had the game out before Helldivers came out by like a year. Yeah, like a horde. Like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, Paul. Like a horde-based PvE. Yeah. Like those game modes and certain things. I think like a... That's what I was thinking of. 40K. What was the one that came out? Not Dark. Was it Dark Tide? Like if it was a game like that, something along the lines of that, I think it would be good. Interesting, right? You have the different characters you can level up, different weapons. It's not Dark Tide, is it? What was the last one that came out that was the 4-player co-op? Yeah, it could be good as a Borderlands like that. Oh, Borderlands MMO, make it so. Yes, it is Dark Tide. Okay. I like the Hordes mode in Gears. It was my favorite. No, Vermintide came before. I was correct. It is Dark Tide. I'm excited for Space Marines 2. Sarge said it last night. As long as it comes out and it works, you know what I mean? Like, it's a game. Like, it's released and it's a game. I'm excited for it. 3-man, Horde mode, ready to do it. Jones is a little bit behind. No, it's not Vermintide. It is Dark Tide. Yeah, the Horde mode just... To me, I look, I love that PvP games exist. Right? I love PvP games. When I was younger, I loved PvP games. I still like playing PvP games. I'll play Battlefield and whatnot. But I like playing the cooperative group activity and then go into something. If it's a boss fight, dungeon, you know, just the banter back and forth while you're playing a video game is the king for me. I love just playing a game with buds and just bullshitting. Last night, just playing the first Descendant or playing Battlefield or Battlefront or whatever it is, I just love shooting the shit while shooting the shit. That's what I like. I don't want to sweat in matchmaking, skill-based matchmaking, getting bullshit kills with cheaters and stuff. I'm over all that stuff. Not to say it's bad. If you like it, you like it. I just kind of outgrew it. Yeah, if it's crossplay, Travis. Kind of scares me aren't released in the beta now. I don't know how I feel about that. Wait, what is that? Yeah, it kind of scares me that they aren't released in the beta now. What isn't released in the beta now? What did I miss? I feel like they're hiding something with Space Marines 2. Oh, yeah. That's why I said if it works, I don't get excited. I'm like dead inside when I see a game. I'm like, yeah, I'm interested in it. But I'm going to wait. It's already confirmed it's fully crossplayed? Okay. I have to go back to the old school Horde mode in Gears E-Day. I'm a Gears 4 or 5. I didn't like that much. Yeah, PvE talking shit with friends or family is the best. Yeah, agreed. They canceled the Space Marine 2 beta. Interesting. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. They canceled it or did they move it? Betas in general need to go away? No, Travis. They need a beta/demo. 100%. You put a beta or demo out of your game that shows people that you're confident in what you're doing. Unless you're EA. Then it shows people that you have no idea what you're doing and Space Marine 2 is almost ready. Our team focuses on a Saber. Have been truly blown away by your passion and excitement for the game. We are now entirely focused on optimization, polish, and fixing. That means... So the way I hear that, Water, is that they had a beta lined up and ready to go. But then something was massively wrong with it, and they said, we can't release it because it already got delayed. Remember, that game was supposed to come out last year. Okay? Then it was postponed to this year, and then it got pushed back to later this year. And now, in that statement, our team at Focus and Saber have been truly blown away by your passion and excitement. Well, I'll tell you what, we're excited because we think you have passion and excitement, but it sounds like your game didn't hit the marks. And now we're entirely focused on optimization and polish and fixing. What were you doing before? See, when I read that, what were you doing before? This game was supposed to come out in November, December. Then it was supposed to come out sometime in like February, March. And now it's like August, September, right? I don't know. That gives me a little bit of pause. Yeah, we talked about it all, Turn, in the first story. I don't know if there's PvP. There might be, Marky Mark. I'm not sure. But it is 3-player co-op. Fixing remaining issues ahead of the launch on September 9th. This means we will not run a public online beta. It would take the development teams away from preparing. Oh, God. That sounds bad. That sounds bad. They did let people play the demo of Space Marines 2. And that's why they canceled the beta. That's why they canceled the beta, Gaming Fire. Read Waterbear's first paragraph up there. Our team's focus on Saber has been truly blown away by your excitement, and we're now entirely focused on optimization, polishing, and fixing. Because when people played the beta, it wasn't optimized, it wasn't polished, and it needed fixing. People read what they want to read, but I read between the lines. They have a separate 3v3 mode. There's just no way Space Marine 2 is going to look that good. I could be wrong. Well, I'm okay. Look, for me, graphics is not king. Graphics is not king. Gameplay is king for me. And story is there. Gameplay, if it feels good, I don't care how the game looks. It could be downgraded. It could still look fantastic, right? That's me personally. Look, I don't care if we get a Minecraft, but what the game Space Marines 2 is in Minecraft graphics, as long as the gameplay feels amazing. See, what I think, Jones, when they do PvE plus PvP, PvP takes away from what they wanted to do for PvE, right? Hence why when they make a PvP game, it's just focused on PvP, because they can focus on PvP. But when they make a PvE game, if they put a system in there where you're leveling up and getting gear and doing all this stuff, then they don't need the PvP aspect of it. And if they do have that stuff in the game and PvP, like a Destiny, it hurts because this is where they nerf the guns and they have to separate. And this is the whole conversation I had with Destiny for years, was they have to separate PvP from PvE. I think it's hilarious. Someone called out What Culture yesterday, 5 minutes after they said 10 games. We're excited. And developers said 10 games you're going to bitch about regardless of a launch condition. Minecraft with Hellblade 2 graphics. That would be cool. As long, like, if you get a game like what Minecraft is, but with really great graphics, that would be amazing. But Minecraft alone is amazing. Amazing game. We know that Space Marines will struggle to run 60 frames and even more with using Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, we'll see. I think a lot of people are having problems with Unreal Engine 5. I do. Here's the way I look at it, right? If you're playing a PvP game now, and a new game comes out, and it's a PvE game, and then someone plays a PvP game, and they come over to the PvE game, and then they go, man, I would really like if this game had a PvP. It's like, no. This game's a PvE game. If you want more PvP, there's plenty of PvP games. But it doesn't seem like that interests them, or they get sick of it real fast. Right? That's the way I always look at it when people are like, yeah, this game needs a PvP. It's like they want to play it, but they're not interested in the game what it is, but they want a PvP mode so they can play the game because they're not interested in the game that they're playing. They're tired of it. They want to move on. I don't think every PvP game needs a PvE mode. I don't think every PvE game needs a PvP mode, right? I do believe that the games like Overwatch should have been where you had the PvP and there was also the PvE section, because not everyone wants to be competitive all the time. I think Destiny would have strived and it's been a lot better if the PvP wasn't attached to the PvE for weapons. All they had to do, and I've said this for almost a decade, all they had to do for Destiny when they nerfed stuff and changed things was, like, you saw all the perks for the gun. It just had different perks and stuff for that gun for PvP, right? So if they changed anything in the PvP aspect of it, it wouldn't affect the gun in PvE. Charles Hawk with the $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Looking forward to Concord. I have 3,000 hours in, is it Warzone? And looking for something else. Right? 3,000 hours. Jesus. Is that, Warzone's been out for what, 3 years? Or is that 3,000 hours in 1 year? Thank you very much for the $5. I know Warzone's been out, but it's been out for 3 different games, right? But Warzone's a battle royale with hundreds of players on the map. Nothing like a hero shooter. Sure, but it's also got a lot of bots on there as well, right? You can also be Nicki Minaj. Or Cheech and Chong. Or Sloth. Is that Charles, is that hours played in all of Warzones or just the last Warzone? About 3 years. Okay. Okay. Can someone tell me why Rainbow Six Siege ruined the franchise? Did it ruin the franchise? I know when it came out it was fucked up, and then they fixed it over time, Travis. Rainbow Six Siege is a fantastic game now. Same with what's the one that Ubisoft made? Is it going to read it? I think it's going to read it now. I forget if I have that turned on or not. Nope. Okay. For Honor. That's what I was thinking of. For Honor. For Honor is a good game, man. I liked it when it came out. What I didn't like about For Honor is the people that didn't have For Honor, right? Like Honor. I loved when a guy came running up to you and it's a one-on-one and you're like fighting each other, right? But then some dickhead would come in from the side and take some jabs at you as you're fighting. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, we're doing a one-on-one here. Yeah, Rainbow Six Siege is really popular right now. I wouldn't say that's struggling. 57,000 people as of right now. 200,000 all-time peak on Steam. That's a healthy player base. Question for you, Charles. Did you play, I'm assuming you played Destiny, right? And you played a lot of PvP in Destiny. Do you feel that Concord just being a PvP game can withstand against the competitors out there like Apex and Valorant and all the other ones? Oh, yeah. Vegas and stuff? Yeah, loved it. Yeah, I don't want to go into someone's PvP game if it came out as just PvP, and I start playing it, and I'm like, oh, this needs a whole story mission based type of thing, right? The Overwatch was supposed to do that from the start, and they didn't, and they lied about it, and they did it again, and they lied about it, right? But I do like the mixture of PvE, PvP. I just wish Destiny just separated the weapons. I just wish they separated the weapons. Yes, I played a little bit of Destiny, not much. I think it's the gameplay loop is good. I just feel like Concord, I don't know if it's going to have the legs not because of the game itself, just because there's so much competition in that space. Now, maybe the company's only looking for that 100,000 people across all platforms, whatever it is, right? Maybe they're looking for that, and that's the goal that they're hitting. I just don't see it being this massive hit. But I've been wrong before, and I would be glad if I was wrong again. I just don't see it happening. I looked at it, and it literally looked like they took Destiny's Crucible and just reskinned. And obviously, it's the people that worked at Bungie created that studio to make Concord, right? Right, Kurt. I have nothing against it. I just feel like making a game like that, it's the same thing about Battleborn and Overwatch and everything else. The Lawbreakers, they all came out around the same time. Travis says Marvel Rivals is going to bomb so freaking bad it's going to die faster than Suicide Squad. I don't know. That's a bold statement there, Travis. I don't know if it'll die faster than Suicide Squad. It's a free-to-play game, where Suicide Squad was a full paid game. Yeah, I like the finals, but there's just so much cheating going on in those type of games. That's why I'm turned off by it personally myself. Concord doesn't have legs. Too much competition. It ripped off Destiny movement and maps. Not sure if the movement looks good. It's just, which is interesting because it's a PvP full game, but it has story in it like a PvE. So that's interesting that they're doing with Concord. I want to know how they're gonna. They said like a 2-week rotation type of stuff for the story. I like Battleborn. I still have my copy. Yeah, it's a great coaster, right? Crossplay is getting turned off every time for me. For which game, Jones? Travis, every time you say something like that, like if I could buy stock in Marvel Rivals, I would. You say it's gonna bomb, and then it's gonna not bomb. They said weekly story, cutscene, no cutscene, just story. Interesting. So was it gonna be like comic book style, like they did for other games? If you block someone, can you unblock them? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've never blocked anybody. Oh, most crossplay shooters. All right. Well, to say that statement, Travis, you said it would bomb faster than Suicide Squad. So I'm gonna hold you to the 4 months. Okay. So if Marvel Rivals, so let's draw a line. Are we taking Steam chart numbers? Are we taking Steam chart numbers? What is the measurement of bombing that we're going to use here? right? So let's go to Suicide Squad. Okay, Suicide Squad. Happening here. Okay, so Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. It's been out for 4 months, right? 4 months it's been out. So in 4 months, I'm gonna take a screenshot. We're gonna take a screenshot with my phone. Here we go. All right. So in 4 months' time, you say Marvel Rivals, when it comes out, will have worse numbers than this. Oh, is Travis going back on what he said? I enjoy PvP, but I'm tired of the endless cheating. I can't do anything. I can't do anything. I can't do it anymore. Multiplayer story works. Anything like Titanfall, and not going to go well either. I think Rivals will start off well. I can't say how well it'll do after because it depends on how well devs handle the game. Well, you know, guys, where I stand with that type of game. That game needs to have double the amount of heroes that they have in the game right now. They have to continuously put more characters in to keep it going after that. I think they should add story, which I think there is a story within the game because they talk about Doctor Doom and stuff in the beta, about taking over the world and whatnot. And that's why there's different portals, and that's why you're fighting against yourself and whatnot. So it could be interesting. If you play on console, just turn off crossplay. It solves most of the cheating. Well, most of the cheating, but there's still people cheating with the inputs that they could put into the Xbox and the PlayStation now, and there's always that doubt when something happens. You're like in Battlefield when I play, I'm like, that's a little odd. I'll let it slide because I'm not really super competitive about it. But there's always that doubt in the back of your mind. You're like, is that a cheat? Sounds like someone's cheating. What they need is people to forget that you have Overwatch 2 because people have has lots of time to sink and skins and all that. And they'd be able to people forget about what they will do fine. Marky Mark says a little off topic here, but I just found out that EA canceled the Dead Space 2 remake. I'm a fan of the originals, and I thought the first remake sold well. What the fuck, EA? Well, apparently, it didn't sell well enough. Right? Right? I'd rather fight the Zim users than the hacker, I guess. It's fake news. They said 2 days ago it was false, and they're saying it might. Did they say might? I don't know. I didn't follow the story. EA has shut down reports that EA Motive considered a Dead Space 2 remake before canceling it. EA hasn't reported the Dead Space remake official sales, but it was the best-selling new game in the U.S. in January of 2023. But that doesn't mean anything. You guys understand that this line here, okay? EA hasn't reported the Dead Space remake official sales, but it was the best-selling new game in the U.S. in January. But what are the sales? Right? If it sold 1,000 copies and great, it was the best-selling game, but how many did it sell? I hate when they do that. They're like, that's the best-selling game in January. Great. How many did it sell? It means absolutely nothing. Guys, right now, there's 40 people watching. This is the most people that have ever watched me during this time on a Thursday at 12:55 p.m. Like, what are we talking about? Right. Hey, it's like, what? I don't understand. I do not understand. They do it with movies all the time. This is the most watched movie this weekend. Okay, how many people watched it? 10 people? 100 people? 1,000 people? 1,000,000 people? Just because it's the best movie this weekend doesn't mean it sold gazillion dollars worth. Just so happens there was one extra person in this theater than the other theater, and that's why it outsold them. That's right, Travis. This is the best show with the name 30 NSG. Right here, Disney Plus did this perfectly with the Acolyte. Acolyte, they said, was the best Star Wars show this year. What other Star Wars show came out live action? Maybe Bad Batch. Sure, you could use it against the Bad Batch, but it's an animated show, and a lot of adults don't watch cartoons, right? So to say it was the best Star Wars show, nothing else came out so far. Nothing came out. They love to use words to make it sound like something's better than ever. I'm not sure when Bad Batch... Here, let me look it up. Was it Bad Batch Season 3? No, it came out... Season 3 came out in May. So that's why they can say it's the best Star Wars this year. It's like 1, 2, 3. 3 is the biggest number that came out this year. Because it's higher than 1 and 2? Oh, okay. I broke my own line in the sand. I bought College Football 25 pre-order. I'm jonesing for college football. He fell off the wagon. Kurt fell off the wagon. Yeah. Yeah, it's all right, Kurt. I said I wasn't going to play MLB The Show, and I played 2 games. Right, Acolyte carried Disney this year. Carried it where? I don't know. Altern says this is the best show that 30NSG had since he came back from vacation. Correct. Out of the 3 shows I had. This series of Acolyte cost them $180 million for 8 episodes, which was more money than episode 3. Highest grossing equals lowest profits. Yeah, it's always a word, you know, to make it sound better than it is. This is the highest grossing movie ever in the month of July, with the year ending in a 4. Like, wow, amazing! Did you guys hear that this is the best movie ever released? When the year ended in a 4, that's amazing. In June or July, we should go see it. You can make the amount of money they spent on the Acolyte, you can make 16 Godzilla -1 movies. 16. Well, there's also those new monitors people are making. That they help, which they're now fixing. So they highlight the players for you, and it's not detected. So it's meant for people that have disabilities. But now people are buying the monitors because they can cheat without ever being detected. Gladiator 2 looks interesting. I want to watch Denzel Washington in it. Is Denzel in Gladiator 2? I know Pedro Pascal is, and I said it on Discord the other day. I was like, I am so tired of seeing him in everything. I am. I like him. He's a good actor. But holy Christ. Okay? Holy Christ. I can't do it. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. I didn't even know what time it was. Dolphin. I can't watch him anymore. He's in everything. You can see someone so much. I'm Pedro Pascal'd out. Is there no other actor on the face of the earth that can't get a job right now? The dude is in everything. The comments from the movie said it looked like a ghetto movie. Oh, you know what I saw last night before I went to bed? Who's a fan? Who remembers the old movie Time Bandits? Time Bandits. You guys remember Time Bandits? What's his name? The guy who did Love and Blunder. What's the director's name? Tiki. What the fuck is his name? It's on the tip of my tongue. TTY whatever. What's his name? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because it's trash. Okay? Have you seen the remake? Did you see the trailer for Time Bandits? Did you see this abysmal freaking movie or TV show on Apple TV Plus or Apple Plus TV, whatever the hell it's called? Like, holy crap. How is this guy getting work? How do you fail upwards? Narwaffle says, no, I saw the trailer for Twisters. Yeah, Twisters, the sequel to Twister. Now with more Twisters. Oh, yeah. No, his original stuff, Chris, is very good. Stuff that he has to remake or do that's not original is absolute garbage. Oh, no. That came from Time Bandits. Oh, yeah. Time Bandits is ruined. Here's all I have to say. In Time Bandits, Lisa Kudrow is the leader of the Time Bandits. And that's where I'll leave it. I watched the first season of The Boys, and I haven't watched anything after that, Marky. Go on, Film Watchers. That's funny, Kudababa. We need a movie on How to Train Your Director. Yeah, we talked about it earlier in the show, Film Watcher. Yeah, they put in Karen Frost and they're delaying it to the July 25th. Time Bandits. I never played the game yet. Is it actually good? Okay. I enjoyed Suicide Squad, the single player game. Before it even came out, I said I'm going to play the game just because of the single player aspect of it, right? I like comic books. I like DC. I like story games. Rocksteady, they can write good story. I like the story. If you're playing the game, if you get it for free on Amazon Prime Day, right? You want to play the game, get it for free. Play the game. It's a good story. It's not a great story. It's not a fantastic story. It's a good story, and I think it's worth $20. $20 for just the story. It's like 10 to 15 hours of stuff, but I wouldn't give it more than that. Yeah, it supposedly it's coming on Amazon Prime for Amazon Prime Week, which starts on the 16th, I think, 15th, 16th. So you can download it for free. Supposedly, I think they have Tomb Raider, Chivalry 2, and Suicide Squad are going to be free on Amazon Prime. There you go, Roadkill. You could have learned that lesson just from me, but sometimes you got to do it yourself to learn, right? Sometimes you got to do it yourself. What game is going to die harder? Kill the Justice League or First Descendant? Oh, Kill the Justice League. 100% B. 100%. First Descendant, I think, has legs. I know it's only been a week, but it definitely has legs. Suicide Squad doesn't have legs. The difference is that First Descendant is a free-to-play game, and Suicide Squad people had to pay $70 for. Free-to-play games have to be good. Suicide Squad pretended it was good in the end game, but it wasn't. Chivalry 2 is actually a really good game. We've played it a couple times on stream. I would love to get a group of people to get on a team together and play. I had fun with that game. The hack and slash stuff, that's fun. Suicide Squad had like a peak player count of like 30,000. The First Descendant is still at 150,000 people playing on Steam. Yeah. Even when it dies down, it'll have more players than the top. It had 16,000, I think, max on Steam. Yeah, no. People can hate it, but First Descendant has legs, man. It's got legs, and boy, does it have legs, if you know what I mean. It's got legs. It's got assets. It's got legs. Figuratively, yeah. So here's what you got. Ready? This is let me get this for you. Hold on. Hold on. All right, so I guess I could pick any character here, but we'll pick Bunny. Okay. Let me get a comparable picture. I don't want to oversell it. Okay, I don't want to oversell it. It's blurry. I can't use that one. Actually, we won't even use Bunny. We'll just put the First Descendant. Get some pictures, images here. So you can have the first Descendant, okay? You can have the first Descendant, or you could have Karen Freeze. Right? You could have Descendant, or you could have Karen Freeze. You can have Descendant, or you could have Karen Freeze. They are in the works, Kurt, for Goonies. They're supposedly making a Goonies 2. All the kids are grown up and they have kids and stuff. Didn't Joker in this have legs? Joker they turned into... Here. Let me see. He was a cool looking character. But they screwed him up as well. Yeah, they screwed him up as well. You know. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Play the first Descendant, or you can play Karen Frost. And on that note, I went pretty long today. We'll be back tonight. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories from the past week, and we rant along the way. If you guys are new in my channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button down below. We're doing this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning until noon Eastern. Next week, I'm on vacation again. We're gonna stream tonight, do the podcast that we usually do. I'm gonna try to do extra streams this weekend. Hit that notification so you know when I go live. I do appreciate everyone coming out, giving the memberships, also gifted memberships, super chats. I appreciate all of you very much. Phil Watcher says, "How can you screw up the Joker? Come on, he's like the main bad guy for Batman. Rocksteady has fallen, man. Yeah, it's pretty sad." So we'll be back tonight for GXG, and then we're off next week again, all week. I leave Monday, come back on Saturday. So, and then we'll be back to normal schedule after that. Appreciate it very much. Again, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.